you ready? I said, are you ready for Let's Talk Whoa Hockey? And now, here are our hosts, Beth and Zach.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 25th episode of Let's Talk Whoa Hockey. I'm losing count at this point. This isn't good.
25. Yeah, 25.
I feel like 25 is right.
Yeah,
and
it's
Courtney,
25.
that says 52.
Already out to a hot start. Love this.
We are. I'm your host, Beth, joined as always by my co-host, Zach. And in our first ever official crossover episode, we have Courtney and Jacalyn with From Center Ice joining us today.
Oh my God.
We might as well put a disclaimer out now, like go grab some snacks and some drinks. Like, be prepared for some adult language, because today we shall be discussing the Blackhawks season that is forthcoming, and also how to prepare to not just be an epically sad person for the next duration of time as we deal with what will be the tankiest of all tanky seasons.
Look, I can't guarantee you won't be sad because I'm sad all the time, but when it comes to the Blackhawks, maybe we can give you some hope here.
Yeah,
Maybe just a little bit, yeah.
We can give you like some things to be like, why don't you look out for this? Maybe this will bring you joy.
Yeah, colorful language aside, it's a very mild understatement. Like, you'll be hearing some things that probably are like, what? You'll see. If you've
ever listened to a From Center Ice podcast, or when just me, Courtney joined these two, then you'll probably hear some things, but try to keep it as PG-13 as possible.
I mean, the pre-show stuff was just already
at one
there.
point, I was we should probably start recording because we're talking about awesome stuff, and absolutely none of it was recorded. So sorry, guys, you missed a great conversation.
Zach, you started it by talking about nutty pumpkins, so
you did. It's true. It's all your fault.
Nutty pumpkins, naughty pumpkins,
Potato, tomato. Why not? I mean,
Exactly.
It all sounds the same, right? I mean,
exactly.
I mean, gosh, yeah, very on brand for both of these podcasts, just to be like, hey, let's just chit chat for half an hour, have none of it, and then have like no context and the inside jokes when we actually start recording. It's like,
oh crap, maybe we should actually be recording this because we're talking about hockey stuff.
Oh, it'll come back.
Plus, you have some nice outtakes if it doesn't make it into the actual episode. So,
I mean, this is a no editing podcast, ma'am. We don't.
Well.
We don't
shoot. There you go, then.
As the person who actually is the main host of the show, I just follow what she wants me to do. So if she says don't edit it, it's staying in the podcast. So
we have only edited one episode, and that was at the request of the guest because they said some things that weren't public knowledge yet. So they needed to be removed from the episode. So
that was fun. Yeah,
that was fun. Zach and I have all sorts of inside information now that we're just like holding real close to the vest.
Oh, I love when that happens.
I guess we just have those faces of like, yeah, you can trust us to say stuff that really shouldn't be out there. Yeah, but we'll see what happens because why not?
Dude, I swear I have that face out in public. Like, I try to have a good resting bitch face because I don't want to be bothered. But people just come up to me and talk to me, and I'm like, okay. But then I'm from the Midwest, so you have the Midwest, hospitality. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll listen to your stories and smile along. So then they just keep going, and inside I'm dying. Like, oh my god,
you're just sitting there like, please stop.
Well, and that's why our episodes are always so long, because we all have Midwestern roots and none of us know when to stop talking.
This is true. So, have you ever, if you're not from the Midwest, have you ever met a Midwestern person and like you try to say goodbye to them?
And then 4 hours later you finally leave?
After you sit on the couch again like 3 times.
Yes. And it's time to leave when like it's like the all right, and like the thigh slap and the rub happens. It's like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. I overstayed my welcome. I'm so sorry. Like, this is a real goodbye. My bad. I'm so sorry.
The Midwestern goodbyes is just like, all right, let's wrap it up after the 4th. No, that's crazy because it's like wrap it up, bud.
Come on. Did you hear about this? Oh man, that's crazy. Well, I should probably get going. But did you hear?
Don't forget to tell your folks I said hi's. Like,
Pitter patter, let's get at her.
So how are they doing?
Right? Oh well, see, mom just,
Speaking
and
of
it's like
them,
3 hours later, you're
Yeah.
finally done telling them the status of every single member of your family.
Oh,
You know,
God bless the Midwest.
it wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't for the wind. It's always another one. It wouldn't be as bad if it wasn't for the wind. It's like,
so true,
Zach, I
though.
say that literally every time it gets cold outside.
Yes.
Oh, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't windy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
you guys from Ohio, Illinois, it's just like, yeah,
Mhm.
just why not? Let's just be here forever. And it's like, cool, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Let me scoot by you real quick. Like,
Even when you really want to leave, like you really want to go home,
Mhm.
but
yeah.
you just can't. You can't do it. You
Nope.
can't make
Yeah.
yourself say goodbye because you don't want to be rude.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like I came off such a dick there, and they're like, "Wow, that guy's so nice." It's like,
Yeah. Good old Midwest. God bless.
I mean, now that I live in Florida, like it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't windy has turned into it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't so humid.
Right.
Or it wouldn't be
right.
so
Yeah.
bad if there wasn't a hurricane.
Well,
Look, I just
Speaking
got
of, how's-
internet back. I just got internet back yesterday.
Did you?
yay.
Yes.
How's it going down there?
Here wasn't too bad in Jacksonville. I mean,
Mhm.
there's down branches, et cetera, et cetera. My house was fine. So I was actually in Chicago when Hurricane Ian hit Florida. Because I had a work conference that had been planned since like June. One of my friends was like, "You're evacuating?" I was like, "No, this has been scheduled for like 4 months."
yeah, like, yeah.
No,
sure,
are you silly?
It's
I'm
not a
from
category
Florida.
11. I
I
am
know.
not active. I am not evacuating. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
like, plus, why would you evacuate without your pets? And you're going to
Yeah.
Chicago. Like,
Exactly.
if you're evacuating, you're coming to like farther north, not that north, but still. If you
I mean,
want
if
pets
they
fine,
need
they'll be
you.
fine.
Yeah, I mean, there was actually a cat on my flight from Jacksonville to Chicago, and I was like, I want to bring Gary.
Yes.
You should have. I mean, you could have.
Like, we passed her in security, and I mean, she had to take the cat out of the carrier to like go through the metal detector and the X-ray machine and everything. And we get to security, I'm like, there's a cat.
There's a cat.
There's a cat. And my friend from work who was traveling with me, she was like, oh my God, there is a cat. And it was like this cute little like gray and white, like almost calico kind of kitten. Chunky, super chunky. Loved it so much. And then like we get through security, and they have the new X-ray machines at the Jax airport. You don't even have to like take your laptop out of the bag. It's got like these tubs just like automatically slide out for you to grab. Everything goes into a singular tub. And then when it goes through the X-ray machine, it gets to the end and there's like a yes and a no like thing. And so if there's something in your bag that you're not supposed to have, like it shoots it over to the right and they search it. And if your bag's fine, like it just shoots it down straight and you go pick your stuff up.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what do you mean I don't have to open my bag? I have to take, because I had my laptop for work and my iPad with me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna need like 47 trays
Right.
to like, put all my
Yeah.
stuff in.
Because you usually have to
And-
put them in like separate
Right,
ones
yeah.
for
Yeah,
each
you gotta
electronic.
take your shoes off and everything else. And
Well, you still have to take your shoes off, which is dumb. But so at Midway, they had one of the new ones, like the one in Jax. I got stuck in the line that had the old one, and I ended up using like 3 trays because she let me put my laptop and my iPad in the same tray. Because I mean, they're both small, so they both
Yeah.
fit in there. And then she was like, "Your backpack doesn't need to go in a tub," and I'm like, oh.
Okay.
Since when? I thought they
yeah,
had to.
Right?
yeah, you had to, yeah. Okay.
And like that's a first. Like, what do you
Yeah.
mean my backpack doesn't need to go in a tub? But it was just like there was this lady who was like, "Oh no, I brought a bottle of water. I hope they'll let me bring it with me." I was like, just throw it away. Like she went to put it in the tub, and the TSA lady was like, "That needs to go in the trash." Like,
What are you thinking?
what are you doing? And she was like, "Here, take it." She was like, "You have to go throw that in the trash. Like, you can't just hand TSA people things. You
Right?
can't just be
Hey,
like,
Yeah.
have that
here, I'm
water.
so sorry. Like, here's my water. My bad." And it's not how this works.
Okay, look, I'm gonna bring up New Jersey again. I
Oh,
know we do
God.
it on every podcast we do together. But okay, so I flew out of O'Hare once to go to Newark. Totally fine. Nothing went wrong. Blah blah blah. I fly back to O'Hare from Newark. I'm going through security and they throw away my freaking toothpaste. My toothpaste.
Wait,
they were
was it the travel size or was it the normal size toothpaste?
It wasn't like normal, but it wasn't
Oh.
like travel. It was like in the
Oh, okay.
middle. It was good enough to fly out of O'Hare.
Right, O'Hare.
Of course, it's Newark, so they gotta do.
But trying to go through Newark, they're like, yeah, we gotta throw your toothpaste away. So this animosity between me and New Jersey goes way back. Everything goes wrong in New Jersey. Fuck New Jersey. They don't let you pump your own fucking gas.
Don't touch my car. Don't touch my car.
I've been doing this for over a decade now. I can pump my own gas, thanks.
Thank you. Like my driving privileges are old enough to have their own driving privileges.
Exactly.
It's like going through tunnels, just trying to exist in New Jersey. It's like no.
Yeah,
sorry.
Just
if you wouldn't exist
in
here,
New Jersey is obnoxious.
If you would like a super fun Jersey story, I went up there a couple years ago when my ex was on the USS New York for Veterans Day. Mm-hmm. Like, what a great time to be like a military person in New York City. So we stayed at a hotel in Jersey that my dad's best friend paid for. I mean, free hotel.
I mean, shit. All right, I'd stay in Jersey for a free hotel.
It depends where in Jersey.
Yeah. We stayed in Perth Amboy. Like, we were not far from the Rock. Like, we actually went to a Devils game. They gave us free tickets to a Devils game, and I was like, okay, cool. Okay. They were playing the Blues, so for that one day, I was a Devils fan.
Look, Devils are fun to watch. Right, that's the only good thing about Jersey is the Devils.
Yeah, and then we took the.
I have that.
Yeah. I have Wawa.
You have everything, Beth. Don't even get me started on the stuff
Wawa.
you have.
I have Culver's. There's a Portillo's like not far. It's in
trying real hard to keep this middle finger down right
now. She also has Whataburger and everything else.
And we have a Giordano's here. So
we have that.
Like,
I'll do it for you. Here you go.
But anyway, back to
Wawa. Yeah, we have
back to the
stuff for Wawa
and there's like a Starbucks and a Dunk's less than a mile from my house.
Samesies.
So, well, and the Starbucks is next to the Wawa.
My Starbucks is basically next to my Dunkin'. But anyway, New Jersey. Sorry.
New Jersey. So we took the express train into the city every day because I'm not going to drive in New York City because I'm not an idiot. Yeah. And the parking sign said that the free train parking started at 9 a.m. I parked at 8:59. Do you want to know who came back to a parking ticket on her car?
You're fucking kidding me. I'm sorry.
God damn it, Jersey.
All right, well,
you want to know who never paid that parking ticket?
I have a speeding ticket from New York that I never paid.
Well, here's the fun part. The car wasn't registered in my name, so...
It was a rental car that I was in?
No, it was my car.
No, I'm saying for my speeding ticket. It was a rental.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so the car wasn't registered in my name, so...
Doesn't matter. Doesn't exist.
Not gonna affect me in any way, shape, or form.
What happens in Jersey stays in Jersey. They can't get you down there in Florida.
No. I mean, states can't suspend driving privileges in other states. So
there you go.
You basically just can't drive to New Jersey ever again.
Oh no, I can't drive in Jersey. I am so sad.
Oh, I know.
Darn.
I'm just saying that's the only thing they really could do. But it's like, all right, it's Jersey. Like, do I really care? No.
You only have to if you're going to like the New York City boroughs. Yeah. Otherwise, you could probably get around going Jersey to go upstate New York.
Yeah, you could because you could go through PA.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, that's a more beautiful drive. So
it is. It is. It's kind of a pain at night because those mountains at night are lawless. But if you go during the day, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about lawless mountains, try driving at night in Tennessee.
Oh, you're right. We've done that. We got catapulted back in time doing that. Oh my
god!
Legitimately, because we did it on New Year's Eve. We were coming back from.
You were in
Jacksonville.
That was when I went down for my grandpa's 75th birthday.
Right. So then you dropped me in Jax to see my sister. Mm-hmm. And then you guys were coming back up and picked me up. So we were driving back to Illinois on New Year's Eve. And this was in 2017, right? So like terrible year all around.
Horrible year.
So we get to Tennessee and it hits midnight. We're like, yes, 2018, finally. But we
and then you crossed into the central time zone.
And then we got flung back to 2017. We were like, no!
We made it 43 minutes into 2018 and we got flung back.
Psych, so you thought you did, but not really.
Yeah. Do any of y'all watch Manifest?
No.
Oh, is it that show where like the
plane disappeared for like 5 years?
No.
So I was talking to a friend. I was like, I'll see. I'll message you when I land in a couple hours or like 5 years from now. And I landed and I was like, all right, I'm in Jack's. What year is it? And he goes, 2017. I was like, I went back in time.
No, don't take me back to 2017. Anything
No,
but
thank you.
2017.
I don't want to be married anymore. Like,
No.
No, make it stop.
Especially to that clown. No.
No, thank you.
No. Oh, how is your sister doing in Jacksonville, Courtney?
Pretty good. So she still works in Jax, but she lives a little further inland in St. John's now. So she basically just got rain. Like there wasn't even a lot of wind. There was no flooding. She sent me. So the day that Ian was supposed to hit the northeast side of Florida there, she worked from home and whatnot. And I was texting her like, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And she wasn't responding to me. And I was like,
well, this isn't good.
I don't like this. And she was like, oh, I was on a Zoom call for work. And then she went out back to her porch and sent me a video of ducks floating in the pond outside. She was like, see, everything's fine. I was like, oh my God.
You were in a Zoom, you could still at least text it back in the middle of a Zoom call. It takes
I know.
5
I was like,
seconds.
you are not allowed to not respond to your sister while there is a fucking hurricane.
No.
Yeah.
And also we got like the storm surge warning came out like 36 hours before the storm was supposed to hit. I sent it to Zach. I was like, these hurricane fans need to calm the hell down. No storm surges, hurricanes, chill. I even tweeted, I was like, hey, at Canes, I'm here to settle down just a little bit. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Like,
kind of annoyed with myself how many times I thought about the Carolina hurricanes whenever they said storm surge. I was like,
every time.
Yeah.
Like
You're welcome.
It's this mass devastating event down there in Fort Myers, and I'm just thinking of them standing at center ice going like
my favorite is like an actual weather phenomenon is the reverse storm surge. Like before a storm comes in, like all the water gets sucked out.
It looks like
because of the pull.
It's terrifying.
And it can go one of two ways. Like it's either like it hits as a storm surge and all of the water comes rushing in at one time. That happened here with Matthew downtown Jax. Like the water went out and then it was like, oh no, if you live on the first or second floor in downtown Jacksonville, like
is it because it flooded the river?
It flooded the river. The storm surge flooded the river flooded downtown. It was a mess. Like it was absolutely awful. But like the one in Tampa Bay was like a slow reverse storm surge. So like all the water got sucked out of Tampa Bay, which is an actual thing. Like Tampa Bay is the name of the city, but also a body of water.
There is a bay in Tampa.
There is a bay in Tampa Bay called Tampa Bay.
Yes.
I wonder if it's like a foreshadowing of how Ian Cole's season is going to be in Tampa Bay.
But also we were like, I'm sure
none of my business.
The Canes are not making up their preseason game in Tampa.
They're not. They're just not playing.
I was like, the Hurricanes can't play a hockey game because of a hurricane. Like
named Ian.
Named Ian.
Yeah. I mean, so somewhere Montreal Canadiens fans crying into their Kotkaniemi pillow because the Hurricanes
and Mark Bergevin's like, no,
over there in LA
because they're playing less preseason hockey games
again.
I still just don't understand why they were so upset about it the first time. Like I get the whole pettiness between the offer sheets, which was absolutely fantastic, and I want it every summer.
It was so great.
But why does it make a difference how many playoff preseason games they play?
Playoff games are important.
Yeah, those are important.
Everyone needs to play the same number of games and be just as tired. And I'm like, you do realize there's like 3 or 4 games between a preseason game. And if your hockey team is tired after playing a preseason game, like y'all need to step up your physical training, your off ice work. Like you've got bigger problems.
The game is shitty anyway.
Right? Like
yeah, and the fact that it's like you're saying your full roster, you have all your prospects with you too. So it's like
you've got the young kids. If they're tired, then you have bigger problems.
Right.
Yeah.
And like maybe you just don't play as many preseason games. Like what's the problem here? Maybe
you submit a schedule with only like 4 preseason games instead of 6 and let it get approved by the league, and then what are you gonna do?
Exactly. Ugh, so stupid. But I'm at the point now where I'm like, I hate preseason. I want it to be over. Like when it starts, you're like, yeah, hockey! This is amazing preseason. I get to see all the kids. And then you get through like 2 games. You're like, oh my God, I just want the regular season to start. These games literally don't mean anything.
Yeah, and it's like 2 weeks too. And you're like,
yeah.
Like for the Blackhawks, for the Blackhawks, back to back. You wait 3 days to play today on Sunday when we're recording.
Yeah.
Then you have to wait another like 3 days until like Thursday. And it's like, I don't care. Then it's Saturday. Then I went till the next Wednesday. It's like,
I wish they would just like play some, and then if they wanted to take a week or 2 off to like work on what they learned from the games, that would be fine. But just having all of these games spread out and they don't mean anything, I'm like, just get to the regular season already.
Yeah. Well, and like the only thing I miss from like the COVID seasons of hockey was the scheduling.
Yes.
Like, hockey every other day and a balanced schedule. There wasn't like 17 games one night and then the Yotes versus the Canadians the next night being the only game that's available. And it's like, does anyone want to actually watch this game?
That's what I really miss about the playoffs too. Like after the first round, when you don't have to decide what to watch anymore because they're staggered, it's amazing. But like you said, those nights where there's like every team is playing.
What do they expect?
Except for the Yotes and the Habs. The Yotes and the Habs never play on the same night as everybody else. They play the next night all by themselves.
Because you really want to watch those games. Although this year with Arizona being at ASU, I'm going to be turning into some more games.
Absolutely.
My gosh.
My dad just moved to Mesa and he's like, if you want to go to
absolutely
game, and I'm like, absolutely. I messaged Courtney. I was like, road trip?
Yep.
I'll be in Arizona October 29th through November 9th.
During an Ice Hogs homestand.
During an Ice Hogs.
Jacalyn.
So many home games.
Yeah.
I know. I treated myself for my birthday to go visit my best friend.
You should have looked at the schedule.
Well, I was
catch a Yotes game while you're down there. Just catch a Yotes game while you're down there.
If you go to a fucking Yotes game without me,
Hey, Courtney, you're going to a lot of home games at the BMO without Jacalyn. I think it's kind of a fair trade.
Whose fault is that? Not mine.
Well, you see what?
And I never said I was going to go to them. So
I'm sorry, I was in treatment.
Those don't matter.
Zach, look what you did.
Wasn't me.
I'm mad about the ones coming up.
I'm giving Courtney crap.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like past.
No, we're not worried about the
upcoming.
Okay. I was like, I'm sorry.
Beth, don't put this on me. That was Courtney. I was sticking up for Jacalyn. Calm down. Don't put this on me. I'm going to reverse this.
So before we get too deep into the crazy, I'll give you guys a chance to share yours as well. But go ahead and make sure you are following Let's Talk About Hockey on Instagram and Twitter at Talk About Hockey Pod. We're on YouTube where you should be subscribed so that you can see all of this craziness that's happening right now. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything crazy, shoot us an email at letstalkabouthockey@gmail.com. Courtney, go ahead and you and Jacalyn do your spiel.
All right. If you want to follow us on the Twitter, it is at VF Center Ice Pod. On Instagram, it is at From Center Ice Pod. Or you can just go to FromCenterIce.com, which is probably the easiest thing you could do because there's links to absolutely everything. We also have a merch store now, which is super exciting. And that's just FromCenterIce.shop. But there's also a link to that on the website. And we also have a YouTube, so go follow all of the things.
I have to say that the merch, chef's kiss.
So good.
The bucket hats?
Johnny Rockford, man.
Johnny Rockford.
Johnny is amazing.
At Johnny Rockford. And and it's
JONNY.
Yes. His Twitter handle is in all of our video descriptions and podcast notes too. So if you follow us, you'll be able to find John. But he does all of our design work. He does our logos, anything pops in my head. I'm like, John, do it.
Make it happen.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see when the From Center Ice Pride jerseys are going to eventually just hit the store.
I know. We're going to have to get it done.
That's a need.
Maybe that will be for next June.
The Hogs are having a Pride Night this year.
They are. And it's
the Icemen are having a Pride Night this year too.
It's in February.
Right after
the week
birthday,
after my birthday.
Like we're gonna be walking rainbows.
There is a game on my birthday at the BMO.
But it's not Pride.
And that could have been Pride Night. That would have been
I know.
That's homophobic.
They all know too. Like everybody in the Ice Hogs organization knows I'm dating a woman Wolves fan of all. That's probably why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
That's probably why they didn't do
They're
it.
like, nothing nice for you, Courtney. You're dating a Wolves fan. What is wrong with
Come
you?
on. Well, also hashtag Rockin' Rainbows. Help
Mhm.
get that trending. Why not?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I hope they have Pride jerseys for that night.
Yeah.
If they don't, I'm raising hell.
Dude, so
Courtney, you're gonna have to come visit. The Icemen are having an actual like only hockey is for everyone night, and there will be specialty jerseys.
when is it?
March, right?
March, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
fucking
why
I think I
Google
told my
exists.
sister, like, I might have to stay with you in March.
go.
That's fine. Come on. There's plenty of room.
Yeah.
You
Google.
got family there,
Google
I got
it.
family there. We got Beth.
We got Beth. Stay
Yeah.
with Beth
I
and
mean-
Gary and the doggos.
I mean, honestly, like my house is probably more fun to stay at than family house. I'm just saying. Like, no offense to either of your families.
You're
However,
probably right. You're probably right.
I have a beer and wine fridge. I have.
As long as you have some gay wine on hand.
ma'am, I still have gay wine in my fridge.
Hell
Good. I need to
yeah.
order some more because I drank my last one on the last happy hour, which is upsetting.
Which was also good as always. So
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yes.
yeah, definitely have to watch Cozy Cast and Happy Hour, which
Mhm.
I still laugh we were talking about it. It's like it's CCHH.
I know. Didn't even
Like-
plan it that way.
It's so perfect though.
No, it just works out perfectly.
Does.
So, the upcoming season, is there anything anyone's looking forward to?
Can we talk about WoHo first before we get into the craziness, or is it just
Do it.
Yes, we can, because I'd like to have some like dopamine and endorphins beforehand.
please?
Let's
Please.
talk about them before you get all down
Down
and
and-
upset because
yes.
of the hot.
Though they can also be the pick me up, where it's like we talked about the Hawks and the sadness that's about to happen. However, we also have this.
Start high and
Or
go
you'll be
low.
exhausted and just be like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Like, we're all here to talk about the Blackhawks and the Rockford Ice Hawks, so maybe we should say that for the bulk of the episode, and
It's
that
true.
way, at least, it's like we're not. By the time we get to the WoHo, it's like, wow, this was fun, guys.
Yeah, this was great.
Go for it. What you got?
Give it
So
to us.
the PHF kind of lit up Twitter yesterday because they put out a graphic that said rank all 7 team logos 1 to 7. Huge props to the Force admin because they retweeted and added a GIF to every single tweet response on that thread.
Oh, wow.
Basically
Oh, yeah.
judging their selections. Like,
Oh my god.
Oh, it's
It was
fantastic. There were like so many good ones.
beautiful.
That's hilarious.
So obviously like I had to put my 2 cents in because duh. So my selections were I am sure that number 1 will absolutely shock everyone. It was the Connecticut Whale, because how can you
Wow.
not love
I mean,
Pucky?
like,
like-
I'm actually shocked. I'm
Are
actually
you so
shocked.
surprised? Are you just so surprised?
I'm so surprised.
Super shocked. I
Super
I
surprised.
figure you would have gotten a tattoo of the one you hate the most.
Exactly. Like I
Just makes
definitely
sense.
put the worst logo in the league on my arm, like 100%.
So the
100.
Toronto 6.
That was my number 7. But then
Really?
the-
Okay.
Wow.
yeah, the Force was number 2 because that fleur de lis with the F is just
Yeah, it is
like
nice.
it's clean.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the Rivs 3rd, Buttes,
Okay.
Pride, Whitecaps 6.
Dude, what? Why you got the white cap so low?
That's a solid logo.
I think I'd
It's a
put the
wavy
pride below the white caps.
I
It
mean,
just doesn't do anything for me. It kind of looks like a soccer logo.
it's a
Okay.
cute little lioness.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a soccer logo to me. I don't know.
How do you feel? How do you feel about Thunstrom not being a Whitecap anymore?
And now she's going to be a member of that soccer logo team.
I guess I'm a soccer fan. I go where Allie goes.
It's true. I mean, we've had this discussion, but
It is.
today the PHF was like, "Hey guys, here's all your rankings," and the Whale got the first dub of the season.
Okay.
So they did like an aggregate ranking. So basically, they took everyone's rankings and then
Mhm.
averaged them, whatever.
Right.
So the Whale, there are people who are like, "What does this mean? How does this work?" I'm like, "You guys don't play fantasy sports, and it is now very obvious that you don't."
You also don't know how voting for the award shows works.
Yeah.
'Cause
Or like there are several states in this country that allow you to do ranked voting. Like that's how this works. This is how they vote in Australia and New Zealand. They do ranked voting for everything.
Really?
So yeah, I'm like, I feel like that would be a lot, but also it feels a lot more democratic to me. Where you like you don't have to choose like A or B. You can be like A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
No, look, you can't give Americans that many choices because it'll just be a clusterfuck.
That's true.
It already is.
Two's already enough.
It'll be more of a clusterfuck somehow.
Trust them.
You can't trust Americans. That's what it boils down to.
It's true. So Will got a 2.78.
Okay.
Rivs right behind him with a 2.81. Pride with a 3.09. Force with a 3.59. The Buttes with a 3.62. The Caps with a 4.18. And the Toronto 6 with a 4.68.
Oh, man.
So basically the 6 need a logo redesign.
Nobody likes the Toronto 6, eh?
No one likes that logo. I mean, it's like...
Me too.
That's a solid logo. Like
I think I know what they were trying to go for, but I think the 6 is a little too squished. It's not like it doesn't look like a normal 6. It was yeah, exactly.
It
makes
it more of a tail.
Weird if it was long though.
Yes,
but even this stuff,
make the circle smaller.
Yeah, or that.
Yeah,
but then the maple leaf in the middle would get smaller. So it's
they do just need a full redesign.
Yeah, they just need to they need to figure it out because like. It could be a really sick logo, like the Toronto 6. It could be a really sick logo, especially since like the name of the team is actually like the number 6 IX. Like it could be a sweet logo. You could do a lot with that.
I mean, the jerseys are nice though. I mean, even their alternate whites with the gold leaves in the jersey, those are actually nice.
I was so stoked to root for the Toronto 6 with the Leafs being my second team, and then they went through all that bullshit with Digit Murphy.
Oh God.
And then I know she's not there anymore, but it just totally soured me to the team. And now Grant Mentes isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Which team did she go to again?
She's in Buffalo with the Buttes.
Okay.
But Carly Jackson is one of the goalies in Toronto.
Is she?
So, yeah.
Yes, she went from the Buttes to Toronto. And we love Carly Jackson. Like, she is amazing. I mean, the mullet.
When you have a mullet in a ECHL All-Star game, like,
I love it
because she was at the ECHL one, right? And at the she wasn't there.
No, she was at the PHF All-Star game.
Right. Who was at the ECHL one?
Jillian Dempsey, Allie Thunstrom.
Okay.
And then Sonia Shaver was there from the PWHPA. There was supposed to be a second PWHPA player, but she got hung up because of complications traveling from Canada to the US.
I gotcha. Either way, if you have a mullet rocking it at an all-star game, you're lit.
I mean, and she rocks the mullet like 24/7 now, and I absolutely love it.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Like her shootout goal in the All-Star game with an actual regular stick was fantastic. The mullet with the winter classic Buttes jerseys that they had in their outdoor game, those jerseys were super clean. Like,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Are they doing an outdoor game this year?
They do. Buffalo does an outdoor game every year now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Yes. It's one of the like specialty games now. There's actually like neutral site games this season, which is kind of exciting.
That is exciting.
And
the Rivs are playing in a mall this year with like three levels.
I read that.
Yeah, it's like a triple decking viewing of the actual ice. Yeah.
Yeah, they play. It's in Jersey, right?
Yeah, they're playing at American Dream, which is a mall in Jersey. Yeah. It's got an ice rink dead center.
That's amazing.
And
a team playing in New Jersey at a shopping mall is the most New Jersey thing you could ever possibly do, because that's all people do in Jersey is go to the mall. So
eat your heart out, Hartford Whalers.
Here's my
trend early.
Here's my thing: if their game entrance song isn't "Let's Go to the Mall" by Robin Sparkles,
oh my God,
I will be very disappointed.
They have to do the whole dance and everything too.
Yes. They have to, but the players are loving it. They have their own dedicated locker room. Like there's a gym facility there. Like they don't have to cart stuff because they used to play in the New Jersey Devils practice facility.
Okay.
So they didn't have like a dedicated locker room space. They didn't have a dedicated gym space. They had to cart their gear here, there, and everywhere. They don't have to do that anymore.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like PHF teams are actually getting like dedicated locker rooms in their arenas now, which is beautiful. The Whale have one. The Caps have one in their new facility. Now the Rivs have their new facilities. It's nice to see the women's game getting the respect that it deserves.
Absolutely. I just definitely had to laugh that it was in a mall because it's New Jersey. It's not the kind of laughing you do with the Coyotes playing at ASU, because that's just hilarious. But the Rivs playing in a mall is just like, that is so New Jersey that it's perfect.
Yes.
But I'm
That
glad
is like
that
the most Jersey thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It should be good exposure too, if people go into the mall and being able to see that, like, oh, there's a hockey game going on.
I mean, let's be honest, hockey's not a quiet game, so
It's not
at all.
People are going to hear hockey sounds and be like, "What in the world is going on over there?" And then they're going to flock to a hockey game. Like,
and if you can just watch it at a mall, like,
absolutely,
there's like a food court right there, so you can just go.
Oh, hell yeah!
Get whatever you want.
That's gonna be so much good exposure for them, and like for kids that are at the mall too. And you might get like teenager fans who hang out at the mall, like, let's go watch the hockey game.
Let me get a Cinnabon and watch this hockey game.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be like, that's like peak like hockey viewership, like just eating a giant Cinnabon with extra icing, because
right? No, get your Indians pretzel and watch a hockey game just because.
I mean, there's that too.
I mean,
you could even go like around the world and get like a taco from Taco Bell, a slice of pizza from Sbarro, like some nugs from McDonald's. Like, I mean, you could just go around the world and have a whole like international buffet while you watch the Rivs play.
Or whichever Asian restaurant is in there at the time. Too.
If there was an ice rink at Woodfield, I would be there watching games.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah, there aren't really any open malls in Florida anymore. Like, there's the Orange Park Mall, but that's really far away. The town center is like an outdoor.
Town center. I mean, it'd be cool to have an ice rink at one of the outdoor malls. So you could just like walk around and go.
That won't really work in Florida, though.
I mean,
outdoor.
They had outdoor games in California. So
yeah, but Zach has to run away, so it's fine. But
it definitely couldn't be a full-time thing.
Oh God, no!
It'd have to be like a special game.
The Jumbo Shrimp, which is like the AA baseball team here.
Okay,
sounds like Jumbo Shrimp.
Like the what now?
It's a Jumbo Shrimp. It's kind of amazing. Like, they have a mascot. It's like a pink fuzzy dude, and his name is Scampy.
Is he a shrimp, or is he just a pink fuzzy
I'm
dude?
pretty sure he's supposed to be a shrimp, but I've never met a fuzzy shrimp. So
that's fair. I haven't met many shrimp, to be fair, but
generally they're not fuzzy.
Yeah.
If your shrimp is fuzzy, you should throw it away. Like,
there might be an issue.
Yeah. And so the first year the Icemen were here, the Jumbo Shrimp, I guess, didn't know that like outdoor hockey games at baseball fields happened. Okay. And they saw the Winter Classic and they were like, "Hey, Iceman, you want to do an outdoor game?" And I was like, "Good luck." There's like a 2-week time period in Florida. You could potentially have an outdoor game and not have it just be like a swimming contest.
Yeah. Well, since Zach is back, and since you brought up mascots, I'm putting on my hosting hat here. But how do you feel?
Please. I was hoping this would come up.
Bowie
looks like an extra from the movie Trolls.
Honestly,
look, I posted
on drugs
in a Facebook group yesterday, and somebody said it looks like the Trolls movie created a furry.
Honestly, that is
basically a furry's dream.
Yeah.
Right, they're personified.
Like, it's creepy, but it's not like gritty creepy. That's like a good creepy. It's just creepy.
It's like he's trying to be gritty though. Like, they're going for the same marketing. Like,
but you can't do gritty again.
No, it's already been done.
There's only one gritty.
There's only one
owns that. Like, I love the like puts whole sheet cakes in people's faces and like streaks at outdoor games and well, apparently has like a color changing belly button.
He does.
Like gritty is Philadelphia 100%. And gritty rules the hockey world. Like, it doesn't matter who you're a fan of. I'm sure there are even Penguins fans who love gritty because gritty.
It's gritty.
Because everybody loves gritty.
We needed something new in hockey when gritty came around. And while we still need new things in hockey because it gets very
stale.
Yes. Bowie doesn't do it for me. No.
Yeah, they're like it's based on the Fremont Troll, and you look at the Fremont Troll, you're just like, I don't see the inspiration for this. Like, it's like multicolored hair, like anchor earring. It's like what are we doing here? A troll?
Like, here's my thing. It's Seattle. Why isn't he wearing plaid?
I feel like
why does he have tentacles?
Why can't they just be a Kraken?
Yeah,
that's why I said, like, why couldn't you be like? I feel like Seattle is
literally your name.
They're trolling us. Seattle is trolling us with this
troll mascot. With
exactly.
They thought that trolling was like have a troll, not that like trolling was just dragging somebody on the internet. Like,
look, if this was like a massive actual troll job, like they had this made up and it's not their actual mascot and it's just a marketing thing before they unleash this awesome looking mascot,
like
I would be all for that.
Yeah.
But I have an actual Kraken.
I have an odd feeling that is not the case.
It's not like even Detroit has the big octopus hanging from the ceiling of the Little Caesars arena. I almost called it the Joe. I'm like, oh,
nope,
not
that's
anymore.
In my head, I was like, the Joe. Wait, no, it's not that anymore.
I know, that's why there was like a little pause there. I was like, Little Caesars.
Wait, what year are we in again?
I know. No, not 2017.
I went back to 2017. Remember,
no, never again.
All your fault.
I'm sorry.
You need to fly back to Chicago.
Okay.
Now we're in
Nashville.
It's all your fault.
God.
Why do they do that? Why are their chants like 3 paragraphs long?
Yeah, that's an essay.
The Icemen use a similar chant. People were like, "You guys are copying the Preds." We're like, "No, we made it better."
What is
it? I mean, you can make yellow look better than what the Preds do with those mustard ass yellow puke jerseys.
Vegas is trying to copy them now.
I hate it so much. Why do they think that that's the best option? It's not.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Also, shiny helmets do not need to exist.
We don't need Star Wars on the ice, okay? Like,
as much as I love
maybe
I love Star.
I kind of like the shiny helmets.
I don't like the Vegas ones. I like the Kings.
I like the shiny silver helmets. I do not like the shiny gold.
Those are different. Yeah, the Kings ones are fine. I'm okay with.
And the Kings bust them out for like special occasions. They're not like, we're gonna rock this shiny shit all day every day.
It's not just like, surprise, you're blind.
Wait, didn't they
surprise? Oh, lights.
They're only wearing the shiny helmets like 3 times this season.
Who, Vegas or
Vegas?
The Kings? Oh, maybe, but it totally gets null because they're changing to the yellow jerseys.
The yellow jerseys with the gold helmet, it doesn't work.
You look like a mustard bottle.
It's not cute.
Like honey mustard though, because they're darker.
And they have decent jerseys is the thing. Why do you think this is?
Those gray ones were beautiful.
So the Vegas gray ones with like the gold filigree, like those are beautiful.
Vegas is trying too hard to be the edgy team from the desert. It's like it's cute for the first like 2 seasons. Now it's like you guys are just an annoyance.
Now they're just cringy. Like their social media presence and everything. It's just like, ugh.
The other day they literally tweeted out, "It's hockey o'clocky."
I saw that.
It's hockey.
Like that's something I would tweet.
Right. And that's okay if you would tweet.
That's not something a team should be tweeting out. That's like something I have too many beers and I'm watching the Blackhawks and I'm like, it's hockey o'clocky.
Except for if it was the Blackhawks, you would spell it HAWKEY.
You got it, dude. You got it, dude.
Oh my gosh.
And you'd have too many White Claws, so it would be CLAWKEY.
That is true. Dude, I got these Trulies the other day. Mm-hmm. And they're margarita style.
Oh, those are good. They're pretty good.
Good. I'd let you try one, but I drank them all. So if you want to go to Casey's, good.
I 100% tried to bring back like a case of the Goose Island Blackhawks Pale Ale. Couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, it's very hard to find. I looked it up when they dropped it. I think it's going to be more widespread now in October. But when they first dropped it, like when Richardson brought it to the press conference and everything,
I wanted to be in that press room so damn bad.
So sick.
Like I just Coach Luke coming in as like beer Santa Claus, like, hey, here you go. And I got you guys presents.
Island beers, so I'm really excited about that. But I just want the cans, you know.
I really hope they'll ship nationally.
Hopefully, if not, I'll get a case for you.
Yeah, because I even tweeted
with your hoodie that I sent you.
Yeah,
I tweeted at Blackhawks, hey, can we get these cans, please? Because
right,
we need these in our lives.
They're
so nice.
They're just so nice looking.
Like, also, there are a lot of Blackhawks fans down south. Like, give us the Blackhawks beer. We want the Blackhawks beer.
Exactly. Maybe if you like pressure them enough, they'll be like, fine.
It's probably
I'll start being nice to you on my podcast if you get the beer available in Florida. Let's go.
The Blackhawks beer is the most exciting thing we're gonna have so far this season. At least give us something here.
Yeah. Give us some sort of joy, please.
That preseason game against the Wings, not the one last night.
The other one, yes. The other one,
Kevin Korchinski sent that pass to Lucas Reichel, who just corralled the puck.
Oh, God, it was
so
good.
I'm
that
still
was
not
just,
over it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I'll ever be over that.
No, it was beautiful.
Until it happens in the regular season, and then we're like, this is a thing that's going to happen.
For the Ice Hawks.
Because he better spend time with the Ice Hawks first before being called up.
Zach and I were talking about that while you guys were having your technical issues. Like people are all like hyped on Kevin Korchinski, and I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be an Ice Hawk
Pump the brakes.
most of the season. Like
pump the brakes.
Well,
like,
this year
chill
he'll
out.
be in junior because of that
be in the
stupid
AHL.
NHL CHL transfer agreement. You have to be
So
over
dumb.
20 or play 4 seasons in the CHL before you can go to the AHL. That's how it worked out so well for players during the COVID season when the OHL shut down, the WHL mostly shut down, because that's how I knew about Seth Jarvis for your Canes, because he was playing with the Wolves because his junior team wasn't playing, and he led the AHL in scoring as a kid who was supposed to be in junior, and then his season started back up and he was forced to go back to junior after he was leading the American Hockey League in scoring.
So dumb.
Yeah, but it worked out well for Chicago because the OHL, at least, I don't know if the league as a whole or just some teams never started back up. So Isaac Phillips got to stay with the Ice Hogs that entire year, and he didn't have to get sent back.
Yeah, I think some of the teams did play, but some did.
Yeah, he never had to go back. But
you said Sudbury, right?
Yeah, he played for the.
How about
they're having a Shoresy night?
Thank you. I was just gonna say that
the Sudbury Wolves are having a Shoresy night, like the TV show based off of Letterkenny.
Sure?
Oh, really?
Yes, they're having a Shoresy night. Like they're gonna. I hope that they're gonna be the Sudbury Blueberry Bulldogs.
Yeah, they are. They're wearing the blueberry jerseys.
Like they're wearing the jerseys from Shoresy. They're having a Shoresy night, and I've never wanted to be in Sudbury, Ontario more in my life.
Said no one ever.
Like literally no one says that ever, and now we're all like, let's go to Sudbury.
Outside of maybe Oshawa and Toronto, I don't think anyone really wants to be like, hey, let's go to Windsor just for the shits and giggles of it. It's like,
I mean, you can get there right from Detroit though, so
it's true.
Like I would say that just because, like, I want to go to Canada.
Of course.
So Windsor, here we go. Just cross over the Ambassador Bridge. You're there. But,
which I have. It's pretty. It's a nice bridge. It's okay.
My friend ran a U.S. Canada marathon where like you ran over the bridge, you got your passport stamped in Canada, and then you ran back to the U.S.
That's so fucking
like
cool.
It's a whole thing. Like
That's
it's an actual like annual event.
Yeah, I can't run, but
I need to start training for this because I have my passport now.
You do?
Yeah. So you basically just like you start in Detroit, I think, and then you run like over the bridge, you get stamped, and then you run back. Like it's a thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just to say you've stepped foot in Canada.
I'm definitely doing this.
Well, I mean, I've stepped foot in Canada before. Who hasn't?
I've never been to Canada. I just got my passport in June. So,
I mean, I went to Canada when a passport wasn't required to enter the country.
Same here. Yeah, this was like 2010 for me.
This was 2004.
We need to put in. We need to put
as recently as 2010. You didn't have to have a passport.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's still like a relatively new. Like you used to be able to, for just like day trips into Canada, you could just cross over with your driver's license, and they'd be like business or pleasure, and you're like, I'm here for pleasure, and they're like, cool, have a good day. Yeah. And then you get back, and they're like, what did you do in this country?
I was gonna say you come back to the States.
I know you brought things. Yeah. What did you bring back from Canada? And you're like,
maple syrup,
toonies.
Tim Hortons and some maple syrup.
I have some Timbits. Like,
can I pay you in Timbits? I'd be like, okay,
absolutely.
Can I pay my tariffs in Timbits? Like, is that allowed?
Absolutely. I love Timbits. Like, Tim Hortons really isn't the best if you're going for like some good coffee and whatnot.
No.
It's just the novelty of it.
Yeah.
Their food is like, because they have like breakfast sandwiches and stuff too.
Yeah,
so
I've only ever had the donuts and Timbits, but like, those are good.
I'm told by everyone who's actually like everyone from Canada is like, no, it's better in Canada. The state version of it is not good. I'm like, sounds better.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that.
That's most things.
Yes.
Also very true.
Except for like NHL teams.
Ooh. You said it.
Wasn't me.
I mean,
which just, it makes me
wasn't
sad
me.
because the Leafs don't ever win. But
I mean, like, when was the last time that the Stanley Cup went to visit Canada, not just because it lives in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
When players bring it back who are from Canada?
Well, I mean, like, when was the last time a Canadian team hosted the Stanley Cup and their players got to take it to their loved ones?
Was it Montreal?
1993.
Yeah.
Was everyone alive when the Montreal Canadiens?
I was live.
I
was live.
Born that year.
Wait, because you said February, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
so you were alive.
You just made it.
I was alive.
You just made the cut.
I was there. I was there.
Canada. Oh my God! I cursed Canada.
You're the reason Toronto can't win.
Good job, Courtney. Good job.
And you picked Toronto as your Canadian team. Yeah, it's all starting to make sense now. It starts to make sense.
Blame Dave Boland for that one.
The last time the Leafs won a cup, there were only 6 teams in the league. So.
And also TV wasn't colored yet either.
That's really upsetting.
Yeah.
There's always next year.
And everybody always wonders why Leafs fans are so salty. And it's like, well, they have no cup to catch their tears.
Oh.
Fans around the league love sad Leafs fans.
More
like
than anything.
Nothing else. When I look at the analytics on the From Center Ice YouTube page, when it's always like the past 48 hours, these are your most watched videos. There's always the Game 7 losses in there. Like, people watch them all the time. And not just
I felt so bad for Steve Dangle, like his Game 7 watch with Dangle. I was just like
I was sobbing on my staircase when they lost that game against Tampa because
the good news is they didn't leave.
Yeah, the season was a lot better, but that almost made it harder. Like, it made it easier to stomach the loss because they actually showed up and played well. Yeah. But it just felt like they could maybe actually do it this time because they were playing well. And that Justin Hall interference was bullshit. And I will say that every time. That was bullshit. And also the Calgary goal should have been a fucking goal. That was not a kick, and I will die on that hill.
It wasn't a kick. Like, you're telling me that the other goals that we've seen, like, was the Kraken goal to start the season? That wasn't a kick, even though it was a kick.
This dude was falling, and you tell me he can kick the puck as he's falling?
Hey,
I mean, obviously he possesses a particular set of skills.
Clearly.
Hey, he was falling with style. Leave him alone. He's trying his best.
Like, Edmonton definitely would have won that series anyway because Mark forgot how to goalie and the rest of the team forgot how to team. I mean, unless Mike Smith went full Mike Smith, which he did on that Rasmus Anderson shorthanded goal from his own zone, which was the best
so great
thing that happened.
I love that he was just like, what?
How do you miss this vulcanized rubber coming at you from the other side of the ice? Like, dude.
Forget the cup win. Forget McKinnon's end-to-end goal. Forget everything that Makar did that was amazing. Forget Kadri's hat trick and scoring the overtime winner. That shorthanded goal was the best thing that happened in the 2022 playoffs.
And Mike Smith's reaction to that goal was the best thing that happened in the playoffs. Like,
so great.
That made my life.
That was,
if you think, like, what kind of goal could make Courtney the happiest? That short-handed goal on Mike Smith while he's in the net
from like 180 feet away.
The only thing better was if it went off his ass and in, because he's just known for goals going off of his butt and in.
That's my dad's favorite goal to score when he plays hockey. He goes behind the net and like shoots the puck off the goalie's butt and into the net.
Gretzky.
I love it.
Or Dylan Strome from when they also played Edmonton and got the butt from Mike Smith.
Stromer.
Too soon. Still too
butt
soon.
Goal was, I think it was against Buffalo when he was in Arizona, and the puck, I think it bounced off the glass and went in his jersey, in his pants, and he backed up into the net.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Pecorine goal, too, versus the Blackhawks. Like, the puck was in his pants, and he just, like, went back into the goal, and I was like, yes!
I forgot about that one. I'm all about the Mike Smith butt goal, though. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was against Buffalo.
And I love when they're so confused, like, what do you mean it's a goal? And it's like, hold on, let me just grab this puck out of your pants.
Oh,
hold on. Sorry, sir. Let me just, look what I got. Like, thanks.
The NHL's so weird without Pecorine in net.
It is. But we can't score any more goalie goals against the Blackhawks. So
Mike Smith still could, though, unfortunately.
He's not playing this year.
Yeah.
He's out for the season.
That's right. Yeah.
So and now they have Jack Campbell.
I'm pretty sure Grant Fuhr wanted to be like, Mike Smith, take my name off your helmet. Like, sir, you are tarnishing my image.
Yeah, right.
Take that off your head.
Who got the goal? Was it JT Compher against Mike Smith, where he just went 5-hole coming out of I think he came out of the penalty box and then just went 5-hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he beat Bouchard to the puck, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that was beauty.
That was just gorgeous.
Like, the only part of the sweep of that series that made me sad was Ben. Because, like, that was the last Oilers game that he ever saw.
Oh, God, Ben. Rest in peace, buddy.
Such a cute kid. Like,
so adorable. That
breaks my heart. Just kind of like when Cammie passed, Duncan Keith's little Cammie.
Yeah. That would have been the only good thing about the Oilers winning, is that Ben could have seen it. But oh my God,
is that Blues girl still alive?
Yeah. She had a bone marrow transplant. She looks completely different now.
She looks great.
Awesome.
Yeah, she
was at one of the playoff games for the Blues.
Yeah, she did the drum thing, or whatever they do beforehand, and they were like, and here's Layla Anderson, and I was like,
that's Layla?
Okay.
Cool, ma'am. Excuse me.
Yeah. I was so happy though.
Every now and then her be a match video pops up on my Facebook or my Instagram feed, and I'm like, I know this person, and then I read the caption, I'm like, that's Layla.
Yeah.
Because they have the video of her meeting her donor, and it's like
I just pulled up a picture. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, she looks so different.
Dang.
Going back to the Oilers real quick.
Yeah.
I think everyone's gonna hate the Oilers this year. Just because of just pure scumbaggery on the whole team.
You re-sign Evander Kane to that big deal, and then you sign Jake Virtanen into a PTO. Like, are you kidding me?
We gotta trust the legal processes. It's like,
I'm surprised they didn't trade for Tony DeAngelo like Philly did.
Same. I also told Zach, I was like, I'd call them a dumpster fire, but that's an insult to dumpster fires.
And also to the Flyers too, but I mean, is what it is.
Well, I mean, they have torts. That's enough.
Look,
already with dead bodies in practice week one.
Day one of training camp, Torts has already killed somebody.
I love Torts. I
saw a tweet that was the kid tried the Michigan at training camp, and Torts told him that he had to bag skate until he died or stopped doing that.
I definitely hate some of his dinosaur beliefs about the game, but as a coach, when you take that part out of it, I like Torts. And it seems like players actually do enjoy playing for him. So that whole, the players hate Torts as a coach. That's not true. He was really liked in Columbus when he was the coach there. So getting that on record. But he definitely needs to modernize his beliefs about the game.
That's never going to happen, Courtney. That's never going to happen.
And that's why we need to stop recycling. But, it is what it is.
Recycling is good for bottles and cans, not for hockey coaches.
Or and guess what? Talk about things that are making a comeback. We got some Tony DeAngelo burner accounts back on Twitter.
Really?
Oh yeah. That came back so fast.
Is it NYR fan?
No, it's a fly. No, it's a Flyers dedicated one now.
It's a Flyers one.
It's a Flyers one. Yeah. He sucks it because all the dude retweets is Tony D'Angelo stuff. It's like, yep. It's like, hey, Tony D'Angelo's back on Twitter because Carolina.
Hey, TDA, welcome back to Twitter.
Sorry, no, it's TA because he can't play defense. Yeah, because he can't play defense.
How do you feel now that he's no longer on the Canes? Like, I know this is the Blackhawks podcast. You have your Canes one. But since we're talking about TDA, how do you feel now that he's no longer with the Canes?
Fucking excited because I hated that scumbag.
Damn right.
I hated that signing. Courtney, you know that. You know I hate Tony D'Angelo.
Everybody hated that.
Like I had some Hurricanes fans like I went on a podcast and we were like debating like, oh, Tony D'Angelo is really good off offense, blah 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 blah. I would see like I couldn't be here longer. I'm like, I don't care. Like, well, so what's his off ice stuff got to do with his on ice stuff? He's still a scumbag player.
Yeah,
he's still a scumbag.
Everything.
Like
when you say that you're racist because you're competitive,
oh my
that
God.
bleeds into your on ice product.
He needs more goalies to punch him in the face. Is what
it's one of my favorite things ever, but like a bad favorite, you know?
Yeah.
Like I love quoting it just because it's so fucking stupid and ridiculous.
Like, I'm competitively racist, guys. Only competitively, not in real life. And then his dad's on an interview, and you're like, "Oh no! This whole family."
He's just saying words that I say every day. Like, sir.
I even quoted that statement. And the person I was talking to was like, "That? Are you sure that was actually said? I can't find it." I'm like, "Believe me, you'll go find it. It's not hard to do. It's like it's out there, but it's just like no." But yeah, I'm glad Tony D'Angelo's gone because I never wanted him in the first place. And you know what? I hope Brent Burns breaks his single season assist record for the Hurricanes. Break it year one. It's not that high of a number. Just do it. Break it. So
Brent, please, for everyone.
That must
erase that man from the books.
Break that fucking record, please.
That must be such a relief for you now that he's no longer there. You don't
well, yes.
Honestly,
and
that's also a really good trade-off. Like no TA, but you get like the world's goofiest dad, Brent Burns.
And Dylan Coughlin. Like it's not the same trade.
Yeah. I mean, I love Dylan Coughlin. I already liked Brent Burns. And plus now I don't have to hear from Courtney every time I talk about the Hurricanes. You still got TDA, and it's like, I'm sorry. I know that you hated him, but if I'm going to sit over here and preach, keep the energy, I have to also keep the energy. Which is fair. I can agree with that. So
yes.
I know it was all in jest everything else.
Yes.
But I was just like, Courtney, are we okay now? Can we be friends again?
Are we friends again? I mean, Courtney, Jacalyn, I'm sure you're the same way. We are very much like keep the energy. If you're gonna shit on the Blackhawks for everything, I'm gonna need you to do the same to pretty much every other NHL team, minus the Kraken. I don't think that they've yet been involved in some sort of scandal that we've heard of.
That
we've heard of.
Yeah,
I need you to keep the energy. Like,
the worst thing they've done is Bowie.
I mean, Vegas. Vegas absolutely screwed over Marc-Andre Fleury. It's just like it's a long list of just. The Oilers are now the new public enemy number ones in the league.
Except for people aren't treating them that way. That's the problem. They're still shitting on the Hawks and not giving that same energy to.
Fucking care.
Yeah. He also is an awful human being.
The Blackhawks are taking these steps to improve. They're actively trying to get better, while Edmonton is actively regressing.
Yes, they are actively regressing to the 1980s. Like they have skipped the 10s and the O's and the 90s. Like they have just regressed to the 80s.
Exactly. So if you're gonna criticize the Hawks, go ahead, and I'm not gonna hate on you for that because they've done plenty that
for sure
they've earned the criticism.
I'm
not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying hold that same energy for at least your own team.
Yes.
At least
every single active NHL team. Every single one, minus again the Kraken that we know of, has some sort of sexual assault scandal, domestic abuse scandal.
Team
on
Canada.
the ice in the front office. You've got Team Canada, which is just Hockey Canada is a nightmare right now.
Team USA Hockey with Van Beesbrook. Is he still involved with USA Hockey?
I mean, Mike Babcock is still coaching, guys. Come on now.
Bill Peters being a coach at one point for the Hurricanes, not a good look.
It all goes so deep. That's why it's not worth giving up your team to switch teams because you're just then putting off.
You're trading bad for bad.
Yeah. Because then it's just what's going to come out about your new team. Because there's going to be something. Because it happens with every single team.
The culture is so fucked.
Exactly, and
it's so
deeply ingrained in hockey that's why, like, as long as you can stick with your team. Like, if people want to give up and not root for the Blackhawks again, I'm not going to.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I'm not going to say you're wrong for
Completely
doing
fair.
that. Like, I get it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna stay there and continue to root for your team, like, you still have to hold them accountable. Because, like I said, if you switch teams, like, the other team's gonna have something too, and then you're gonna have to go through it again, and then you're just gonna be switching teams all over the place because, like Jacalyn said, it's everywhere in hockey.
Yeah.
So the culture is broken.
Yeah,
and like hockey culture needs a mom to be like, no,
it does
Exactly.
No. It's so broken.
Stop it.
So
no,
the best thing you can really do is, like I said, as long as you can, and as long as you want to, stay a fan of your team, but demand accountability and demand them to actually change and to get better,
For sure.
rather than just ignoring it or being like, oh, I'm not gonna root for this team, but then you secretly still do, just not doing it publicly.
Yeah.
You know, which I'm sure.
Because in your heart, like, they're still your team.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, they hurt you and they hurt everyone else. And they fucking suck for that. And
here's the thing: hockey teams hurt their fans all the time, every year. Like, it's part of the process, being hurt by your team emotionally in some way, shape, or form, because suckage. Like,
when we went through all of that with the Hawks, there were so many times where I was like, I wish I could just give up on this team. That would make everything so much easier. But then you hear something about the Blackhawks, like something good, not anything bad.
Yeah.
Like, when it's your team, you get the feeling. Like, you can feel when it's about your team. Like, when your team scores a goal, it feels so much different than just watching some team you're casually interested in.
Right.
Like, you can feel the difference. And so that's how you know that's
Courtney and
I
watched the 2015 cup clinching game a couple weeks ago together. We were texting like it was a live game.
Yeah, and just sobbing.
Like, I was like, I'm already crying, but I'm scared because what if the outcome of the game changes?
It doesn't change.
A 7-year-old game, and
I
we were
know
both
what
like,
happens,
yes.
but it's still gonna.
Every time I watch it, I feel like the outcome's going to be different. Like, me watching it again is going to change the outcome.
This picture up here, that's from the cup clinching game.
And you didn't realize it until we watched it again.
We watched it again, and I was like, wait a minute. And I ran in here and I took a picture and sent it to Courtney. I was like, I have that.
Well, going back to what Courtney was saying too, is like, you really can't quit on your team, because like once you kind of brand yourself with your team's logo, I mean, you're kind of like
on my neck there,
so you're kind of stuck with them. It's like how me and Courtney, I probably almost all of us, we have a second team just because we like hockey, and like there's different aspects to that. Because I know, Courtney, you like the Maple Leafs. I like the Canes because we moved down the same time they did. That's my dad's team. We've been we went to Game 7 of the Cup final, saw them win it. So like there's different layers to someone else's second team fandom of like, okay, I like this team because of this, this, and this. It's okay to have a second team. We're not in this era of it's one team or no one else.
Right.
So it's like, no, you can have a second team.
You're not a real fan if you like other teams.
I hate that form of gatekeeping. Like, I hate all gatekeeping when it comes to sports, but like, you can have a rooting interest in more than one team.
Absolutely.
And like, even when it comes to that, it feels different between when the Hawks score a goal and the Leafs score a goal.
Of
like,
course.
there's a difference in how I feel. Like, I love the Toronto Maple Leafs, and like, through good and through bad,
through thick and thin, Courtney's still there.
It's a lot. But when the Blackhawks score a goal, like, I won't get that excited about the Leafs, you know?
Yeah.
And like, when something bad happens to the Hawks, I will never be that upset about the Leafs.
Yeah. Like, I don't necessarily have a second team. I have a list of teams that I refuse to cheer for.
Of course.
Oh, same.
Nashville.
Hard same.
Nashville.
I mean, I'm sure all of us have the same teams on that list. It's Shit Louis, and it's Trashville, and it's Detroit.
Vegas.
It's Vegas. And that's like, if you're not a Vegas fan and you're an NHL fan, you don't like Vegas. Like, that's just
Edmonton.
It is what it is.
I have a little soft spot for Detroit.
Man.
Really?
Jacalyn, I'm gonna need you to like push her in the rolly chair out of the room and just like lock the door.
I really like Moritz cider, okay? And I really like.
And that's fair.
So you have a soft spot for players, not necessarily the team.
Yeah, I don't want
like Blackwood with the Devils. It's just
Look, I
players.
like the Devils. Okay.
That's different.
Oh, you actually like the Devils.
I do like the Devils. They're like a distant third team. They're like my team that I won't emotionally invest myself in. So if they win or lose, I'm just like, yay, Devils game. They're a lot of fun to watch. But if they lose, I'm not like, oh my god, my day is ruined. Like,
I mean, like, how could you not like watching Jack Hughes play hockey? Like, he's such a fun hockey player.
And Yegor Sharangovich and Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt and
so what's Devils jersey are you gonna get then, Courtney?
I want the jersey.
Yes.
Why
you have to get the jersey. Like if you're gonna get a Devils jersey, it has to be the jersey.
Exactly. I already have a Taylor Hall New Jersey because it was on sale, and I was trying to get I'm still trying to get a jersey for every team. So I saw it on sale, and I was like, yay!
As long as it's not St. Louis, right? As long as
I'll have to get one eventually, but
I think if I were to get a Blues jersey, it would have to be like Brandon Saad. Like that would be the only acceptable.
That's cursed.
That's definitely.
I have a Saad CBJ jersey. Okay,
like that's less cursed.
That's much less cursed than the.
Go with Nick Leddy. Even though that's still.
I always forget that he's in St. Louis.
You could get a TJ Oshie jersey
in my brain.
Oshie played for the Blues.
Oshie would be an acceptable Blues jersey as well.
You could get an Oshie jersey if you can find one.
You can get one customized.
Nashville would be difficult, but like right
Ryan
now it's Kevin Lonkinen.
Or Lonkinen.
I feel like that's cursed too.
That is cursed. I would go with Ryan.
Yeah, like the fact that he with his profile on Twitter is him in his Predators jersey, and the fact that he tweeted it out, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right.
It hurts.
This doesn't feel right.
My favorite Twitter moment was yesterday when Calvin DeHaan went back 3 years into tweets because somebody was like, "Hey, Calvin DeHaan, if you ever want to come back to the Canes," and he was like, "No, I don't." And then he was like, "Just kidding, I'm back."
Yeah, that was actually the Jared Ellis of the Locked On Hurricanes podcast. It's like, it was just he's like, "I'll pass."
Went back 3 years on Twitter replies to find that and be like,
I wish he would
I'm back.
I still just don't know why you're blocked.
I'm blocked on both accounts, the From Center Ice account and my personal.
What did you do?
I
don't know.
Did you
What about him? You like him.
I know. I like Calvin.
You know what's funny though? I'm blocked by Sarah Sivian, and I didn't say anything mean to her at all.
That's random.
Well, because it was the night where she asked Rod if you can explain a player, think about a player in 3 words, what would it be? And he's like, no. All I did was retweet that. And I said, Rod is an absolute legend. All I said, instant
block. And then she was like, bloop.
Locked.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't say anything wrong. It's just instant block.
Did you retweet a mean tweet about Calvin DeHaan?
I don't know.
You were so excited when he came to the Hawks.
I was so excited. I have an authentic Calvin DeHaan jersey that is signed by him in my closet.
Calvin DeHaan, unblock Courtney and From Center Ice, please.
That makes no sense.
I don't know why I'm blocked on both accounts.
You have a signed jersey of him. How can you? Yeah, I hate you, but I have also a signed jersey of you.
I liked him since he was with the Islanders.
Yeah.
Send me a picture of your you holding your signed jersey, and Zach and I will just tweet out hey, at Calvin DeHaan.
With him signing it.
Yeah, send them to us, and we'll be like, hey, Calvin DeHaan. Don't know why, but please unblock our friend Courtney. She didn't whatever she did. She's sorry. She's not even sure.
I talk shit about my whole team. That's just what I do because I want them to be better. But I don't think I was ever oh my god, Calvin DeHaan is the worst.
No.
I probably tweeted out when a goal went in off of him, but
maybe.
But who doesn't?
Right.
Is he gonna block all of Chicago media because they were oh yeah, a goal off Calvin DeHaan's
If anybody should block me, it should be Seth Jones. I went in on
I was about to say that.
I'm surprised we're not all blocked by Seth Jones.
Calling him shit.
I'm surprised we're not all blocked by Seth Jones and have follows from Caleb Jones.
Caleb.
And the fact that like his mom. Like I'm surprised like her mom hasn't got it. The thing I haven't said this too, because Calvin Ahan's number is 4 in Carolina. He's a better 4 than Seth Jones.
I legitimately said I'm a better 4 than Seth Jones.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's really blasphemous that they let him have that number, though.
It is.
After Jalmerson.
No.
Yeah, like they should have put 4 in the effing rafters after Hammer left. Like Seth Jones signs it, and Nicholas is like, no.
Right. Just
retire it now. Right now.
And how do you say no to the guy?
Nicholas Jalmerson's best block ever should have been to not let Seth Jones have his number.
Yes.
100%.
Like, the dude was literally a brick wall.
Yeah.
Like,
he's the reason I
ate
like
pucks
hockey.
for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like,
yeah, like
I'm surprised he has as many teeth as he has.
And I was like, this little dude, because he's not huge, he's tiny. I was like, this little guy is out here blocking all of these shots, being an absolute maniac. I love this sport. And Nicholas Hjalmarsson is why I love hockey. And then I saw Niemi and I was like, goalies!
Goalies! And then Courtney entered your life, and that was it.
Like, I was upset when Niemi left. That's how funny this is. Like, oh my god, I'm upset. We're gonna have a new goalie. This is horrible.
And enter Corey Crawford.
And you're like,
and my life changed forever.
It's true. Her and I were like sobbing when he hoisted the cup for the 2015 win. Like, we were both like, I can't stop crying.
Like, just the first time I heard "Save" by Crawford, rewatching that, it was just instant tears.
I get goosebumps just thinking about
know.
it.
Should have won the Conn Smythe.
In 13 for sure. Like 100% in 13.
And the fact that people need to stop, poo-pooing on his name, that he needs to get his number retired. And I'm sick of people saying, hey, he wasn't that elite.
He doesn't even have a legacy night.
Like he's
won the rafters, please.
He's won 2 cups. He's the reason why they won one of them. Like
Patrick Kane straight up said, I shouldn't have won the Conn Smythe. It should have been Corey Crawford.
Yeah.
He's the only Blackhawks goalie to win multiple cups with the team. Like,
And
how do you not
fucking right, Chicago? Like, come on.
Right. You can't get past
biggest bunch of beauties in the league.
It's such a joke. Like,
I understand that people are like, you can't retire every single number from the cup runs.
I get that.
And I get that. But it would be so wrong if somebody else wore 50. Just like it would be so wrong if somebody else wore 81. And that's why they're retiring Osa's number. There's just some
so
numbers
wrong if anybody wore 88.
Exactly. There's just some numbers where it would be so
No one should be wearing
wrong.
4. No one should be wearing 4 anymore. I'm sorry.
No.
Like, if you some people can say something about Duncan Keith or Brent Seabrook. It's like, okay, but it's like Hjalmarsson should have his number retired. Like, I'm sorry.
Courtney, that face was just
I'm not saying it should, I'm just saying in general. It's just like if we're talking about guys who
you said Duncan Keith and there was a visceral reaction from Courtney's face. She was just like
I can't help it.
I know, but it's like 80.
It's so upsetting because I used to love dunks too.
Like 50, at least 54 and 88 need to get retired. Like that should be automatic.
19 is going to go in the rafters. Come on now.
Oh, you mean for Troy Murray
and Jonathan Taves?
I mean, they should double retire it just because of what Troy's meant to this team.
Yeah, they have to do that.
I'm so glad that he's on the TV broadcast team now and not on the radio. Like,
he's going to do both.
Yeah, so but I'm glad that he's making the shift over.
Yes.
Patty Sharp, though, on TV. Come on.
The broadcast team got a lot better looking.
I like it. He did a really good job with NBC when he was doing broadcasts with them. I didn't watch the game last night against Detroit, so I think he was calling that game too. No,
I'm glad.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he was coloring with I always forget our main guy.
Chris Foster's.
Yeah, sorry. I know it's
Did
Chris.
You guys watch
it's been so long that it's just been Pat and Eddie that it's going to take a little bit of time to transition.
Watching the Seattle broadcast is so weird.
Disorienting.
With Eddie.
I don't love it.
The thing is, I was like, I have Forsland from Carolina and I got Eddie O from Chicago, and they're both in Seattle. I'm like, what is this like?
I love Forsland as a
he's so great.
Guy. He is so good at it.
It just feels so weird to me that like both of my team's guys that were on TV are now together, and I'm like what is happening right now?
I mean, Seattle has to be your third team.
No.
You don't want to root for Bowie the Troll?
Nikki, I think you're just trolling me now, but no.
I mean, that puts you in all different time zones, though, so it's okay.
I can the thing is, my love for hockey for teams that like I'll buy merch, fully invest is 2 teams. I can't do more than that because at least it's one in every conference. Like I know people who have a team in every division, and some people have the same team in the same division, like 2 teams in the same division. I'm like, I can't do that.
I can't do same division. I'd probably almost have one per division, but not like hardcore. Like it's
Blackhawks and I mean, you're kind of already there with the Hawks, the Leafs, the Devils.
But Jersey's like the Hawks and the Leafs are up here, and like the Devils are down here. They're my
It's not, but she's not gonna put it in her bio of like this team, this team, this team, and this like.
I do have a Jersey pillow behind me, but. Nice.
Yeah, but it's like some people have like in their bios on Twitter, like of all their teams that they like. I'm like,
I have the Hawks, the Whale, and the Iceman in my bio. You know,
NHL teams
from 3 different leagues.
NHL teams.
It gets to be so many. Like, how do you keep up? So like,
bios are so limited in space too.
And
like,
then you
how
have
are you gonna?
Yeah, but it's like. See, luckily for us though, different conferences, so it's like you're not going to get that much of a bleeding effect.
Yeah,
same conference
twice a year.
Yeah, you're cutting it close. Same division. Come on, you can't be like, oh, I like the Rangers, I like the
Rangers and the Islanders, guys.
Oh,
there's no quit in New York.
But no, it's just
what is it? Laundry Day, Courtney.
Look, they were my Eastern Conference team when the Leafs were eliminated in the playoffs, if you recall.
I cheered for the Avalanche the entire postseason because at least it stayed in the Central Division.
Yeah, I did. I cheered for the Avs after the first round because first round was just all Leafs, and we know how that went. So then I had to improvise for the second round and beyond. So I went 1 West, 1 East, and
I mean, I didn't waste
Rangers
my time.
Had Breadman, so
and Shesterkin.
Yeah.
Plus,
and I was no longer a Ranger.
Yeah.
What? Shesterkin?
No.
I'm thinking Georgiev. Sorry, my
brain. Yeah, I was like, no.
I was like, wait a second. Hold on.
As soon as I said that, I was like, wait. That's not right.
So hold on.
Breaking news. I've just turned into Kevin Weeks. Breaking news, guys.
That was just like massive news. You just casually dropped there.
Yeah,
casually. He's not a Ranger goaltender. So that's our episode. Bye.
That's like goalie in the league just isn't with the Rangers anymore.
That's like even if you say Yo Sorokin, I'm like, okay, even that's wrong. But it's like,
yeah.
See, plus, I didn't waste my time with like, hey, Courtney, I know who your Eastern Conference team should be. I don't know how it went. No.
But you tried that with me. You were like, your Eastern Conference team should be the Canes. And I was like, TDA, no. And then he was like, well, how about now? I'm like, still really no. Like
they still need to earn my trust back. Like I'm glad he's not there.
Yeah.
But there's still a scar.
I've been hurt and I want
that needs to heal.
Yeah. No, I mean it's fair.
Yeah. But I mean they have Tavo, which is like, I mean, who doesn't love the Turbo? I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't give a damn. Tavo Teravainen is Turbo. It's not Brandon Tanev. It's Tavo Teravainen.
I'm sorry. Like, Brandon Tanev is just eyeballs to me. Like, I'm sorry. I would word Turbo.
He's Ghost Boy. I call him Ghost Boy.
He should have been their mascot. Like,
oh my God. Brandon Tanev retires and just becomes the mascot for the Seattle Kraken.
Oh my gosh.
The Seahawks player that did that too is just iconic though.
Great.
I can't remember who it was, but
I do love that Marshawn Lynch owns part of the Seattle Kraken now.
Yes.
I had that video with him on the Zamboni.
So happy. Yes. I love it.
I love it so much.
I did feel kind of bad in the playoffs when the Rangers went up against the Canes. It's like, this is definitely like, I'm going against my friend's team, but I can't root for Carolina. So I just have to fully buy into it.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, yeah, I understand. It is what it is, you know. But now it's all good.
Were fun to watch in the playoffs. Like
they were boring as hell to watch. They should Pittsburgh should have done their job and beat them in the first round.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Zach's a little
animosity.
salty, everyone. In case you're wondering, Zach's just a little salty.
I had to take a 2-week break from hockey because I wasn't.
That's fair.
I was not feeling it.
But look, you have Seth Jarvis, so you don't get to be salty anymore because you have Jarvis.
That's also true.
Jarvie parties.
Yeah, and Jack Drury, and you have Coochie King. Like, you can't be salty.
Coochie!
Piotr the Great. I will never ever reference that.
He can't do it. And I'm like, that's what the players call him. Sorry, that's his nickname.
I don't care. Piotr the Great.
Coochie King is the best hockey nickname you can have.
Also, the man stood up to Brad Marchand and was like, "What are you gonna do?"
Yeah,
that was fantastic. That was just so great.
Everyone in the league fell in love with Coochie when he was like, "What do you want?"
I also fell in love with the Bruins momentarily when they were chanting racist at TDA.
Yes.
I mean, I fell in love with Jags fans this preseason when Deshaun Watson started the preseason game and they started chanting "You sick fuck" at him.
And
then when staff told them that they couldn't say that because it was inappropriate, they changed it to "No means no."
Dude, that's is
beautiful.
Legendary.
Yeah,
it's
that's
so great.
Like
amazing.
How do we get all NHL fans to do that when Edmonton comes to town?
Honestly,
see,
just keep it up around the league.
Everybody still boos Patrick Kane. So
can we say that his character arc absolutely fantastic.
His preseason little chalkboard.
Oh my god!
I love Patty the Third, and when I grow up, I want to be a good dad. I was like, Patrick Kane.
There were actual tears in my eyes. Yeah. Like, they grew up so fast.
Like,
you want to talk about
a years or something like that?
16 years.
Yeah, 16
so
years.
He and Taves are now on the same number of NHL seasons because Taves took off that whole year. So now they both have 16 seasons, and it took my brain a second. I was like,
hold on.
Wait, if you want to talk about a hero story, though, Patrick Kane.
He's grown up so much.
Mm-hmm. Our little baby's just grown up. Like,
still refuse to acknowledge.
They still bring up the cab driver incident, which, like, I get it, but also, like, that was
get over it. It's
long ago.
It's like it's
also,
been how long?
Like he was a kid essentially.
Yeah.
Like yes, he may have played in the NHL, but he was what, like 19, 20?
Yeah, and like I get holding him accountable, and he definitely maybe not was as much as he should have been, but he's made strides to get better. It's not like it's the year after it happened and we're all like, "All hail Patrick Kane, he's all better."
Yeah.
Like
no, it's been like 15 years, people.
He's taken the steps to get better, and you have to allow people to grow and get better. You can't just never forgive people. But it's when it's the season directly after, like TDA getting booted off the Rangers, and then he gets signed in the offseason, like or like, to stop shitting on Zach's team over here, you go up to Edmonton and like Virtanen has his court case, whatever, like that was throughout last season, and then he signed to a PTO in the off season, and like Evander
Kane have to trust the legal system
going through shit when Edmonton signed him, like
and like his shit isn't little at all, and it's not like one instance. Like he faked his COVID vaccine card. He broke protocol during like COVID seasons and went out and did whatever he wanted and didn't get tested. Like that's not even just his personal life issues,
right? And we'll never know the true story about what's happened between him and his ex-wife. But like, even if some of it is true, it's horrendous. But even just ignoring that side of it, if somehow you can, like, he's still a piece of shit. Like,
I mean, not just with the on ice stuff with the vaccine card and the breaking protocol and the traveling when he's not supposed to. Like, this man has been sued by several women because he forced them to have their pregnancies terminated.
Yeah. And like
not just sick.
The city of Buffalo hates him.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, he didn't actually give them the money that he said he was going to. Like, that's why they sued him.
Because he's broke. Like
because he gambles too much.
Right.
But apparently not on NHL games.
Of course
No,
not.
of course not.
No,
The
But-
league investigated.
Which, like,
Never.
gambling can be an addiction, and I get that. And if he is addicted to it, then he needs to get the help he needs for that.
Mhm.
And that doesn't necessarily make him a bad person. It's just everything that comes with that, you know? And that's why From Center Ice, like, we're never going to have hockey betting and whatnot.
Same.
Yeah. Because
it's just everywhere.
Like, first of all, it's just everywhere.
It's just being shoved down our throats constantly.
Also, I love how the NHL, when Vegas came in, they were like, you can't have any betting like names. And now they're like, well, welcome to the first period of this NHL game brought to you by this gambling company. And here's your money line bets. And here's this and here's that. And it's like,
yeah, like the whole pregame show for Blackhawks now is like, what's the money line on points bet? Like,
like, cool. Can we also say that, like, how amazing Ryan Hartman is in that game against Edmonton?
Oh, yes.
Flipping the bird.
Him off.
Yeah,
and then getting fined for it, and people donated a bunch of money to him, and then he donated it all to the kids' hospital.
Yeah.
Can we talk? I think it was a Coyotes fan who like threw $20 over the glass.
Oh
to him.
yeah, he did.
Like, you need this more than I do. Like
the hockey fans' pettiness is so great. Like,
it knows
like,
how bounds, really.
Yeah, like no other league can compare to hockey fans and just how petty we can get.
And how creative we can get. Like, let's be honest.
We hold on to those grudges for a long time. Like, I hate Mike Smith because of 2012. Like,
I hate
that's 10 years ago now.
I hate the entire Vancouver Canucks hockey team because of their playoff run against the Hawks when they knocked out Taves. Still hate them to this day. Even certain players.
I mean, the entire league hates Raffi Torres, but we hate him specifically because he tried to murder Marian Hossa.
Could have been the Coyotes in that series, but you know what? It's all right. You know,
it's cool. Just try to murder the demigod of hockey. It's fine.
People will never forgive Corey Crawford for that playoff series because the
people haven't forgiven him for going out and having a life and accidentally like breaking his foot.
Right.
Like,
it doesn't matter what he does. One thing goes wrong, we're like, oh, there it is. He sucks.
He's a hurtsy.
You're right. He's a hurtsy. Like we got in the season ticket holders group.
No,
like,
and now people are seeing what life is like without an elite goaltender in net.
Imagine that. But don't worry, guys. We have Peter Mrazek.
Mazarek, Beth.
And Staylock, baby.
If we learned anything from Gary Bettman,
it's Mazarek, not Mrazek.
It's Peter Mazarek.
It's Peter Mazarek.
I mean, it's not as bad as Boy Callie, because let's just not know how to pronounce people's names.
As what?
Boy Callie?
Oh yeah, from the Kraken draft where they had Marshawn Lynch come on there in the draft. Yeah, couldn't see Cal Yarncrook, just said Boy Callie, and I'm like, my effing hey, it's Don Scully.
Don Scully.
Not Don Scully. There's a difference between like non-hockey people screwing up hockey names, because let's be honest, we have a vast array of names from a vast number of countries. Like, if you put Brady Shea's name in front of me and said, this guy's name is Brady Shea, how do you spell that? I would be like Shay, and they'd be like, wrong. There's a whole bunch of vowels in here that don't sound like shit, or sounds in here that don't sound like shit.
So it's like, where's the JEI come from in Shea?
Yeah.
Well,
like, so I get
or have a non-hockey person try to pronounce Bufflin, like
right,
Byfuglian.
Yeah. Right, exactly, or Taves.
Jonathan Toes.
Hey, Miroslav Shatan. Have fun saying
Miroslav Satan.
I will never not say Satan.
So my favorite Taves moment was in one of the like Road to the Winter Classics, because he was like in his car driving up to the UC, and the parking guy was new for like the player parking. So he had like this sheet, like a sheet, and it had all the players on it.
Oh my God.
And he had the camera in the car, and the parking guy was like, which one are you? He's like, I'm Jonathan Toes.
Because you have to, for people that don't know hockey.
And he just kind of like looked at the camera. And this poor guy was like, okay, go on in.
Oh, Johnny.
man.
Johnny Toes.
Like Bobby Hull called him Toes too, like to kids to correct them. They'd be like, who are you waiting for? And they'd be like, Jonathan Taves. He was like, oh, you mean Johnny Toes?
Johnny
like-
Toes.
And it's like, no, they had it right the first time.
Oh, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
He's retired as an ambassador. It's the man is
Finally.
old and has a very, 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 very exceptionally, insanely checkered past.
You could, yes, to say the least.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, it's different for people that are not involved in hockey
Yes.
to get the hockey names wrong.
But for the
But
commissioner of the league, the commissioner
Sure.
to say we have a trade, Toronto has traded Peter Mazarek
Zarek.
to the Chicago Blackhawks.
And he said it multiple
So
times.
many
So it's not
times.
like he
It's
just
like-
messed up the first time.
Right.
And was
He
like,
just
oh no.
kept repeating it. Like you don't even have to say it this many times.
Like
Mhm.
you
We
just have to
get
say
it.
it one time. He's only been traded
Oh,
once.
he's been
Like
traded. Like we get it.
It's basically, where were you when Pierre Mazarek was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks?
I was on a live stream, slightly intoxicated, wearing this hat.
Was that
I
before? Was that before or
Sitting
after you
basically
tossed
right
it?
here.
Was that before or after you tossed your hat?
I put it back on for a while. I think I was still wearing the hat because I tossed it for the Kirby Doc trade because my heart like hurt.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited for Frankie Nazer though.
I am too.
I still don't know how I feel about the Alex DeBrincat trade.
All I'm saying is that assist to Lucas Reichel really lessened the blow.
It really did.
DeBrincat
like-
though, I'm like, really?
See,
Really?
we talked about this with Kyle. Like, DeBrincat had really great chemistry with Patrick Kane and Dylan Strome.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's something he's going to be able to replicate in Ottawa.
Like I only saw him in one preseason game against the Leafs, and it was the first preseason game. And he looked a little out of place and lost. And I was like, oh, Cat looks a little lost out there. And I was like, it's the first preseason game with a new team. What am I doing?
And then two games later, hey, Alex DeBrincat scored, and you're like, yep, it's all right.
Yeah, it's
That
like-
sounds about right.
Everything's normal.
But again, it's still the preseason. I mean, we could look back at the Hawks preseason last year when we were all like, okay, maybe this won't be so awful.
Let's see.
And then the first game started and we were down like 4-0 in 2 minutes, and we were like, oh.
Let's see. Was it
And Jack Johnson scored a breakaway goal.
Yeah,
Don't worry. No one had on their bingo card Jack Johnson scores the first NHL goal of the season.
And
No one.
now he's a Blackhawk.
Now he's a Blackhawk.
I swear he probably just signed with us so he can be there for the banner raising, which
Oh,
is
yeah,
totally
for sure.
fine.
Yeah,
And
'cause
I didn't even think about that till I was like, oh, the Hawks opened the season at the banner raising ceremony. for
Here's my
Colorado.
thing.
And I was like, wait a second.
Hold on.
It all makes sense.
Yeah,
I just want like
Purposeful.
one moment, a minute into the game, where Jack Johnson gets another breakaway
It scores.
and scores on Georgiev. Because we
That
all
would be
know
hilarious.
Pavel has still been listed as number 2 goalie when he stood on his head in the Stanley Cup playoff.
it's
But
it's okay. Even last year, it was like how many games in a row was it? Was like 17 seconds in, 30 seconds in, like just I'm like every goal seemed like it was always like a minute into the game, and I was like,
And
wait,
they
it was like,
when your defensemen are
lead, you're
laying on the ice.
Yeah, they
The
didn't
block
hold the lead
shots.
for the first month of the season or something.
Yeah.
yeah,
They set the
And then they
record.
finally scored first, and we were all like, we can do that?
and then they lose. They immediately lose. And you're
But when
like,
your D-men
yep, there
are
it
laying
is.
on the ice before a shot has even been like taken,
Yeah.
like the puck is still on
It's
the
still
opposing
being
player's
played.
stick, and they're like, wee!
Oh, who was
Yeah,
it?
a
Was
little early, bud.
That would be Connor Murphy.
it
Was
When he could see, when his helmet strap wasn't over his face.
Oh my god, it happened so many times.
I was thinking,
Or something or something.
I was thinking of the overtime game against the Devils, where it's just like, oh, like just drag around 5 guys,
The Jack Hughes stick toss. Yes.
Yeah.
Second game of the season.
Yeah, it's like, hey, the Hawks
and then it
might
became his
win.
all-star
Psych.
shtick for the breakaway contest.
That was so cool, though. With the
adorable.
kid. Yeah, that was really cool.
Cute.
Him and the kid nailed it on the first shot. Like
fantastic.
Like they
the blindfolded insane goal of doom. Like the fact that Trevor Zegras did not win that rigged ass shootout game.
The house always wins.
I think that made people hate Vegas more than they already did.
Okay, here's the thing. Like I thought John Hamm was a Blues fan.
He is, wasn't he? Isn't he?
Yeah. But apparently in Vegas, he's like the house wins.
Well, I mean, Pietrangelo was a Blue.
True.
So,
but still.
But
not anymore.
It just
like that whole shootout thing was so cool, and then they ruined it in the most NHL way ever.
As they do.
It wasn't
a contest. I'm so surprised.
It wasn't even a great goal. It wasn't like he did anything spectacular.
No,
it was like
he didn't score.
Exciting.
He didn't even score.
So how did he win?
It's like here's Trevor Zegras going, hey, I did a blindfolded
and scored.
Yeah,
and
like,
then Jackie was scoring, and him and the kid do the stick toss, which was so cool,
amazing.
And like Alex DeBrincat with his like hangover situation,
in
the baby carrier, like come on.
I forgot about that one.
I mean, it's just the NHL doing NHL things. It's
always.
I swear, it made people hate Vegas more than they already did.
Yeah,
because of that.
But now we're getting all of the Flower pranking videos from that All-Star game.
So great.
And I'm here for him taping all of Sidney Crosby's equipment into a giant ball
and then hanging it
behind the jersey and then putting the jersey back.
Oh my
god!
And
then being like,
I haven't.
Okay, gotta go.
Oh my gosh!
It's on Bar Down's Instagram account. They made a reel.
All right.
Yeah. It's so great. It's just
he like taped it all up and he was like, "Okay, gotta go," and like left the locker room.
I love Flower.
It's beautiful.
He's blessed his soul.
Because basically,
Flower. Like 4 months that we had him were very happy times in a very dark time. So
this is true.
Exactly.
We needed Fleury.
It pisses me off that his only losing record will do with Chicago.
Well, he signed for several years in Minnesota, so don't worry.
Just wait.
He also,
didn't
do himself any favors to start the season.
No,
he wasn't great.
Too many adventures.
Yeah,
no, he does that.
Wandering Flower was a lot with a shitty defense. Like you can't just like peruse the entire sheet of ice. When you've got Seth Jones in your first D pairing.
Obviously, last season isn't on Fleury.
No,
but
he didn't do himself any favors.
Exactly.
It's just it's fun. It's for me. It's like we've gone from the heights of Crawford and Robin Leonard. Don't even get me started about the Robin Leonard trade. Yeah, and then we go from
Scott Darling.
Yeah,
Anthony Emmy.
Yeah, we go from that. Oh, and also Razor. We have like all these in the Emmy and all these great goalies.
Zach, Antti Ranta.
Yes, Antti Ranta, of course. Too. I mean, goes without saying.
Put some respect on that name, Stanley Cup champion Antti Ranta.
Yes,
that was my whole thing when he was talking about Kane stuff. And they were like, "Oh, Ranta." I'm like, "Oh, you mean Stanley Cup champion Antti Ranta? That guy? Is that who you're talking about?"
Yes. Well, the fact that all these goalies in Chicago, now we're down to
Peter Mrazek,
Alex
Stalock,
and Stalock, and I'm like, cool.
I need them to either pick up another goaltender on waivers or sign another vet.
I mean, Malcolm Subban's back on the waiver wire.
Oh my absolute word!
Is he? Oh
yeah. He put on waivers today.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be very on brand for the Blackhawks to be like, so on waivers we've picked up.
It would,
Malcolm Subban
and Drake Kajula, and Alex Nylander. Both of those guys are also on waivers too from Pittsburgh.
It would be very on brand for those gentlemen to return to the Hawks organization.
I would totally take Kajula back. I would take Alex Nylander back in Rockford because him and Reichel were lighting it up. But no, I cannot get back in this cycle of give me these guys back. I refuse. We're not going back there.
We have left that storyline of the Blackhawks history.
Even though the Ice Hawks did bring back Glendening.
Well,
So-
here's the
and
thing. Dylan
Sakura is
Sakura
back.
chose to come back. He was a free agent. He chose to sign here. We didn't acquire him.
Fair.
He came back on his own.
Let's
Fair.
get Brandon Perlini back.
Courtney's face broken. Courtney's frozen and Jacalyn's not.
That's why I did that. That's why I
this
did
is
just
really
for
weird.
that.
This is a really weird glitch. Courtney's frozen and Jacalyn is not.
That's why I did that, just to see the reaction. Wow, just by saying that dude's name, it's like,
Look, we got Alec Regula for him.
We did.
Mhm.
So that's good.
Yes.
And that's all you have to say about that.
Yes. I was very excited about him when that trade initially went down, but then he just kind of never did anything after that. He did have a hat trick though. But
I mean,
yeah, but no thank you. But they need to get another goaltender because Mazarek can never stay healthy. Stalock had his heart issues because of COVID. So I don't trust that he will be able to be healthy for a full season. And I
Arvid.
refuse
There is Arvid.
to let Arvid come up and
And-
leave the Ice Hogs for an extended amount of time because I don't think he's ready to take on the starting role in the NHL yet.
Mhm.
He will get there. I am confident of that. But also, the Ice Hogs need to be good.
Yes.
The Blackhawks need to lose.
Yes.
Ice Hogs need to be good. We need Arvid because the other goaltenders we have behind him are all very unproven and they could be great. We just don't know yet. But we need Arvid. So the Blackhawks need to get a third goalie because I am terrified.
Yeah,
I mean,
what you said.
there's a lot of guys right now in training camp that should just be with Rockford, just for the sake of like, let's not ruin their careers early by sliding them up so early. It's
Kirby
like,
Duck.
I
got this
Like,
I mean,
weird cough, guys. I'm so sorry.
yeah. and Plus, all the guys we just recently drafted, everyone's like, let's start them now. No,
No.
no,
Which
no.
they won't. I trust.
I'm going to be the hockey mom here real quick. No.
Exactly.
I trust that Kyle's going to do the right thing because they do seem committed to actually developing prospects now. So we know Kevin's
fucking
going to
hope
go back to
so.
junior. They sent Del Mastro and Nolan Allen back to junior today or yesterday, whenever that happened. I'm sure Lucas Reichel's going to start in Rockford. It's just they still have some preseason games left. So the guys that are like really showing something, they want to give them as much time as possible.
Oh yeah, of course.
The
But
Ice Hogs have 2 preseason games this week.
The 5th
So,
and the 6th.
yeah,
both
I'm
at
sure-
Iowa.
Yeah, they probably want the newer guys to play, see what they have there, and don't risk injuring these other guys in an AHL preseason
That's
game.
my beef
Yeah.
with season.
Like-
Like you want to play your guys to see what they have and what they can do, but also please don't fuck up my guys in a game that doesn't mean anything.
oh, you mean like Trevor Zegras?
I was just gonna say like Trevor
absolutely,
Zegras.
yes.
He did start skating today. So he
Thank
was
goodness.
ready.
Well, because doing fantasy hockey with I just got him for a draft pick in one of my other leagues, and I'm like, I see him get hurt. I'm like, please don't be hurt.
You mean like me at the end of last season when I had Clayton Keller and was super stoked, and then
Yikes.
Shit
Yeah,
happened.
the league we did have last year was kind of fun, but the one we're gonna have now is gonna be even more insane.
it's going to be so chaotic, and I'm here for it.
14 hockey nerds in a fantasy hockey league. Oh my!
Yeah.
And the fact that me, Courtney, and Beth are all in the same division.
I mean, there was a point in time because we dropped 2 teams from the league, and they were like, well, we need to take somebody from the Woe Hockey division and bring them up to the Mile High division. And I was like, okay, well, this, and this team, they're off limits. You can't have them.
Yeah. Beth basically said, I can't go, Courtney can't go, our friend Bailey can't go, and Kat can't go. So it's like, here's
I was
a
like,
few guys.
here are the other 2 teams that you can choose from.
Yeah. Basically, the WoHo division basically stays the way it is outside of these 2 players. You pick one and go with it.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
So
but yeah, it's
Yeah, that is a really shitty thing about preseason though, is that these guys
Yeah.
get injured. And like we saw that with Kirby Doc, even going back to him, it wasn't preseason, but he got concussed in the rookie showcase against Minnesota, which then they did to his brother this year.
right.
And then in the shortened season, he was going to be the captain of Team Canada at the World Juniors, and then broken wrist, and he's out for basically the entire season. So this kid could never catch a break.
And then they wanted him to learn how to take faceoffs by taking faceoffs against Jonathan Taves.
Which
is the person you should have teaching him not. Oops. My computer's like, I've been angry today, so guess what? Like, Taves is the guy you should have like over his shoulder.
Right.
Like, taking faceoffs against literally any other center on the team.
Anybody.
Not the guy at the faceoff dot with him, like, I'm gonna win 98% of these faceoffs, Kirby. Hope you learn something from this.
They basically did everything possible to kill Kirby Doc's confidence.
They failed him.
And then expected him to save the team.
They completely failed him.
Because he was the
blamed him for that.
Yeah. He looks like such a happy dude now. He was on NHL Network, I want to say a week or two ago. Like in his like long-term, fancy condo stay until he finds a place to live. And you could tell it was like not a place that he lived because it had like a live, laugh, love thing on the wall. And I was just like, oh, buddy, you could not find a single other surface to have as your background than like this like love situation.
Yeah, it's
and he seemed like he's really embracing the change. I mean, he's going to be coached by Martin St. Louis. Like, if there's a guy who's going to improve your face-off numbers, it's going to be St. Louis. Like,
and like you also have Nick Suzuki on the team. You got Cole Caulfield on the team. Like, you got dudes in Montreal. Defense, it's a little shaky. Goaltending, we're going to see how that plays out because they have Jake Allen.
Jake Allen and Samuel Montembeault.
Jake Allen has become like the journeyman goalie of the NHL at this point.
He's Mike Smith 2.0. Yeah, but not as bad.
Yeah.
I don't hate Jake Allen. Like, he still has a little bit of the bruising from the Blues.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
but he doesn't have the ass goals.
So, true. Plus,
or a goalie goal. Let's be honest.
When he was with the Blues, that's when the Blackhawks were good. Yeah. So,
fair.
Yeah,
we beat him more than he beat us. Like,
it just stinks as the fact because you go back to that draft with Kirby Doc, like all you hear is, oh, it's going to be Turcotte or it's going to be Bowen Byram or insert other top end guy there, and then you hear Kirby Doc and everyone's like, hold up, what now? And
so bad.
I actually wanted Turcotte, but I mean, Bowen Byram would have been another good choice.
Either one, like, no offense to Kirby Doc, like, my sweet little angel boy. Like, no, we love Kirby Doc, but
yes, absolutely.
I much rather would have had a Bo Byram or a Turcotte.
Breaking news. Forward Boris Kachuk is expected to miss approximately 4 to 6 weeks with a left ankle sprain.
Oh no, Boris!
Cool.
Remember when Boris didn't want to be here?
That was hilarious.
He wasn't quiet about it.
No,
that was so funny.
All right, Tampa Bay, please use Brandon Hagel correctly instead of whatever thing that you're doing with him is. It's not working.
Brandon Hagel is like a fourth line grinder, and it's like,
that's not
have
his
you
game.
ever watched any Hagel tape? Like,
that's not his game.
That first round against the Leafs, that line of Hagel, Nick Paul, and Ross Colton was dangerous every time they touched the ice.
Because they're all on like a fourth line and none of them are fourth liners.
I mean, yeah, but
I
figured they were going to score every single time. And then, of course, you have Nick Paul scoring his only 2 fucking playoff goals ever against the Leafs in Game 7. But,
But also, like, I mean, Tampa does have like forward depth. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, they had quite a unit, but I won't lie. I felt really happy for Boris Kachuk when the Bolts did not win the cup. I mean, I was happy they did not win for other reasons, but I felt so much better for that sweet, sweet boy.
That
when they lost.
That was.
I mean, I was also elated because they lost and there was no back-to-back-to-back, and I hate the Tampa Bay Lightning with a firing, burning passion.
Oh, same. it's so bad. It's like Brandon Hinkle was literally like top 3 on the Hawks that season in scoring. Hey, we're gonna put you on the 4th line and see what happens.
Right.
He was
What are
above
you
Kate.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was.
He
The
had
best
20
were having
goals
many-
before Kane did.
I had
Yeah.
many conversations in the final where people were like, "Oh, Andre Plot." I'm like, no, do not sleep on that man. Like, please don't. And then he'd score goals, and I'm like, what did it? I just told.
He was also super injured by the time they got there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, everybody was. I mean,
That's true.
let's talk about.
Nichushkin basically didn't have a foot, so
Yeah. Like he was getting carted around with a slipper on from a hotel.
Kadri couldn't tie his skates because his thumb was broken. Like,
Yeah. Like,
and yet he scores that overtime goal where everybody's like, "Where's the puck?"
Right, exactly.
and all of us Blackhawks fans are like, "We've been here before.
It's in. We know it's in.
We know it's in. We've lived this story before. The puck is in the net."
That was
too many guys on the
weird
ice.
goal.
No.
Yeah, you know,
That was
too many men
such
on the
a
ice,
weird
it's fine.
goal because, like,
Yeah.
it looked like it went in.
It was anticlimactic because nobody knew what
Yeah,
happened.
except Bowen Byram. He knew. He
He
like comes
knew.
flying down the ice like, "It's in. It's in."
That's like the Patrick Kane 2010 OT goal. Like,
Yeah.
he
exactly.
knew it was in. I was screaming on the phone with my dad, like, the puck is in the net. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I saw the net move. The puck is in the net.
Oh, God bless Michael Layton. What a
Oh,
beauty.
I love
Such a
him.
nice
Love him.
man.
He was.
Uh-oh. Courtney? Courtney is frozen.
Oh no.
But like she's actually frozen this time, not like
No,
glitching because Zach said a name.
Yeah, right. Instead of fake frozen.
Instead of fake frozen and twitching. So I'm just gonna pop her down real quick and hope that like maybe that will get them back onto unfrozen life. I'm gonna send a quick text message. Oh, her computer just restarted.
Oh. So it could be.
So that's exciting.
That could be a little bit.
That's going to be a few minutes. So, I mean, we are already pushing like the 2-hour mark. We told you guys to get snacks. So
you want to talk about our sponsors real quick while we're waiting for them to come back?
While they are coming back, let's go ahead and talk about In the Clutch Apparel, whom we absolutely love with their officially licensed merchandise across all sports. They don't just have hockey, even though their vintage hockey stuff is like, it's amazing. So if you head to intheclutch.com and enter in Whoa Hockey at checkout, you're going to get 10% off of your order. And then, of course, we have our friends at Level Up Snacks, aka Shocked Hydrate. And you can head on over there. They've got some really great energy drinks. We are still waiting for those leveled up snacks. But while you're there, hit some watermelon energy or some green apple energy and really just get that nice clean energy, no crash. It's absolutely wonderful and it tastes delicious and you just have to like mix it in some water. It's super easy. So if you head over to shockedhydrate.com, enter in Whoa Hockey as well, you're going to get 10% off your order. And of course, it would not be an episode of Let's Talk Whoa Hockey without a little Canadips ASMR, because Zach and I both love this product. It is 10 milligrams of CBD per pouch. They have 11 billion different flavors. I swear they've got new flavors coming out like every week. It is so good.
They have a new flavor they just dropped, and I want to get it. The problem is you got to get it in the Humboldt pack, and I don't want to spend $50, even though there is a discount. That's still a lot of money. It's Pineapple Express. I'm like, how can you make a Pineapple Express flavor and be like, oh, it's pack only? What?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like it's in a pack with like the purple sugar, the Nerp Daddy or Perp Daddy, or whatever that one's called. And it's like, guys, come on.
Yeah. Like
Pineapple Express needs to be like either on its own or like in a 3-pack, not a
like they had with the strawberry cough. Like you could just buy like 3 cans of it, which was awesome.
Yeah, or not the Humboldt 5-pack where it's like, okay, yeah, you want it, here you go. You need to get like 5 cans all at the same time. Like, bro. No.
But if you head over to canadips.com, PHF/BellyUp, you're going to get 20% off of your order, which is pretty fantastic. Again, I mean, there's not a flavor that I've tried that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I mean, CBD is really kind of good for literally like all of the things.
Yeah. All the
like,
things.
There's nothing that it doesn't help with. But Courtney is working on restarting her computer so they can hop back in and we can finish this up. So, I mean,
we actually do get into legit more
Blackhawks
talk though.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome back, ladies.
Goodness gracious. I love how you're like, this is a no edit podcast. And my computer is like, well,
it just like yeeted itself out of the wall. I don't know.
That's fine because we just did all of our sponsor reads while you guys were restarting your computer.
Yeah, so
it's like we've done this before.
Perfect. It was perfect timing. It was a planned break for my computer to completely go blank screen.
The sentient AI just kind of knew exactly when to be like, hey, we're gonna just see you guys later.
We're just gonna piece you guys right on out of here. Like, let's figure it out. So,
hey, Beth, real quick, though. Central Michigan just won their game against Michigan State. They swept them.
What was the score?
4-1 Central Michigan against Michigan State.
Chips.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Indiana Tech's also 4-0 this season. So,
well, excuse me, la-ti-da-ti-da.
We're talking about college women's hockey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know one of the things I told Courtney that we wanted to talk about was embracing the process without being the saddest human being that will exist.
So we're not embracing the suck. We're embracing the process.
We're embracing the process.
Gotcha.
I mean, that was something that Shaggy went over with us. He just went through this. He's an Avalanche fan.
Okay.
So he has gone through what we are about to go through. Hold on. I will be right back. Ella's about to jump out a window. I will be right back.
Do that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So while she goes to hope that her dog doesn't jump out a window.
Yeah, right. So, well, let's talk about Rockford for a little bit. So
right.
what are you looking forward to most? With the Ice Hawks this year, with
being back at the BMO.
Right?
So long.
There is that. I mean,
it's been 84 years.
I swear
pretty
to
much, and they've done like renovations to the BMO during this off season. So from like a fan perspective and the whole fan experience, there's going to be upgrades, which is super exciting.
Right.
They're getting a new video board. They're getting like LED ribbons around the arena.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure if it's just going to be lights or if it's going to be like a scrolling thing like some places have with like the score. And
I don't know. They got Hawks money.
Yeah, they have Blackhawks money now.
I mean, hey, let's just, we got that nice big scoreboard in Chicago. Why not get something, really nice in Rockford? So why not, right?
Probably because it would be touching the ice.
Well,
I mean, that's also very true. I mean,
it's really fun to have heard this entire conversation, but not have been an active participant in it. Ella did not jump out of a window. It's really gorgeous in Florida today, so all the windows are open. Gotcha. And one of my neighbors was walking their dog down the street. And so that could have turned really ugly very quickly because window screens pop out. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Sure do.
But crisis averted. I also grabbed a snack.
Oh, good.
Nice.
So yeah, from like the fan perspective, there's going to be some new things to look forward to. And then on the ice, like, they have a full season with Anders Sorensen as their head coach now. They brought him back. They stripped him of the interim tag, made him the full-time head coach. And once Derek got brought up to the Blackhawks last year and they were under Anders Sorensen, they started playing a whole lot better. So hoping for like the off season, once they could get used to his type of coaching, come back in, be ready for it, that maybe we'll see an even better year this year since they did progress like pretty consistently as the season went on last year. So hopefully it'll be another good year for the Ice Hogs. It'll be Soderblom's second professional season here in North America, at least. So he has that. He looked really good in that one preseason game against Detroit.
He
so
played really well in that one preseason game.
I even said to Beth, like tongue in cheek, why don't we just bring up Soderblom and just not have to worry about watching Mrazek.
Because we love our friend Courtney, and her face right now says she will literally come to South Carolina and murder you for putting that in the universe.
I mean, you know.
Zach, we were just talking about not rushing prospects, and now you're like, why don't we just bring Soderblom up? Like,
it was tongue in cheek. It wasn't actually being
process.
serious. I know. It's just.
He just wanted to see your face when he mentioned that. Like,
I mean, it's pretty. I'm on a pretty good roll of just the last few times we've had you on the episode where I just say something and you'd be like, "Sir, I will just don't make me jump through this computer." But you mentioned Derek. You mentioned Derek King, and I'm like, why is he still in Chicago? Like, why?
I'm just glad that they made the decision to bring in an actual coach to coach this team, and they did not remove his interim tag.
I will never forgive him. We talked about this last episode. I want Jacalyn and Courtney's thoughts on this.
Get your popcorn.
I will never forgive Derek King for how dirty he did Alex DeBrincat about his All-Star announcement.
His first All-Star game. Oh yeah.
Oh,
All-Star game. Okay, anyways.
I wanted to yeet my phone across the room. Like, oh my absolute word. He makes the All-Star game and you're just kind of like, yeah, he made it. Motherfucker, he just made the All-Star game.
Like, that's exciting.
That's a big deal.
And it was his first one ever.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done something cool with it. Like, hey, we're going to have you and Kinder do, like, dad jokes back to each other or just something. Come on, fun. No, just random at the end of a meeting. Oh, by the way, you're going to an All-Star game. And everyone's like...
There was, like...
Cool.
2 minutes where I was like, oh, Derek King's going to be like the cool fun coach when he first came up to Chicago. And then
you should have listened to us.
What have I been saying?
I know. And now I have regrets. But it was like there was like a week or two where it was like fun Uncle Derek. Like he's the fun
they went on that
press conference coach and they won some games and it was beautiful. And then
listen to us.
And then
the video I made right after that was
I love that video.
Announced. Be careful what you ask for.
Courtney's called a lot of things, Hawks and non-Hawks.
She knows her shit.
Mazarek coming to Chicago.
I mean,
I don't know how you got that one correct.
I don't either.
Right?
Like,
I mean, she's like,
when that happened, I was like, Courtney, are you from the future? Like,
Courtney's just Nostradamus, and she's now just telling us, like, oh, by the way, I know the lotto numbers in like 5 weeks. Deuces, I'm retiring early. Like,
I'm gonna need those numbers, ma'am.
I will say, in 2013, when the playoffs started, I was talking to my dad, and I told him by the end of the playoffs, Corey's going to have this save percentage. And I will be damned if I was not 100% correct. I can't remember what it was now because that was so long ago, back when the Blackhawks were good. But I got it 100% correct.
Damn.
Let's see, Corey Crawford's was the save percentage?
Yeah, in the 2013 playoffs. Was it 925, 39, 920?
Not 935.
Yeah, 935.
Got it.
I was like, that's going to be Crawford's save percentage when the playoffs started. And 100% correct. I don't know how that happened. That was just luck. But
yeah. Well, because like we were talking about Dylan Coughlin just out of random, and so she's like, "Oh yeah, he's got like a bomb of a one-timer." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Like next game, well, this Dylan Coughlin guy sure doesn't have a wicked slap shot. And Courtney's like, I wonder who said that. I've seen this before.
Wasn't it on the power play too?
It wasn't. Yeah, because it was the power play goal.
I was like, oh, he's got a really good shot. They should try him on the power play. It might replace some of Tony DeAngelo's points.
Yeah. He hits a slapper and it like Stastny tips it in. And I'm like, this guy's got an awesome one-timer, awesome slap shot.
I wonder where I've heard that before.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw you tweet about that. I was like,
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Then
Exactly.
Like I knew she said it, and then like when the tweet came back of like, I wonder I heard this before. I'm like, I mean, I have to check my sources to confirm this, but I think, my good friend Courtney Dagger said something about that. I was like, yeah, it's confirmed. And the sources have confirmed it. Thank you very much. Welcome to our TED Talk. But
yeah. I mean, it's like she knows hockey or something. I mean,
you would think,
crazy.
but
it's just a crazy world we live in. Women know and understand the game of hockey. Like,
I mean,
no,
what?
Yeah, it's like mansplaining. Like, you don't have to mansplain hockey on this podcast, because if you do, you're gonna get clowned on.
There you go, Beth.
My hat's around here somewhere. I think it's in this room.
I also have I have the matching T-shirt as well.
Yeah, Jacalyn got me the shirt.
Courtney the T-shirt a couple years ago.
I was like, oh my god, this is genius. So then I had to get the hat when they released the hat.
I'm just glad that I'm not stupid enough to fall for that. Like, hey, let me mansplain hockey to people. It's like, no.
I mean, there've been a couple people who have tried to do that to me. Zach has witnessed it, and I'm just like,
the worst.
Okay.
The worst isn't the mansplaining. The worst is when they try to and they're wrong.
They're wrong. Oh my
That's
god.
just my favorite part.
Hey, name certain number of players on this one team from this season. You're like, okay.
My brain doesn't really store information like that, so
like I don't know why you need me to, but okay.
Yeah.
It's like wearing a band T-shirt and be like, name 5 songs. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
I
feel kind of bad when people are like, you probably know way more about hockey than I do. I'm like, maybe, but it's only because like I'm obsessive about it. Like,
my favorite response to that is I've probably forgotten more about hockey than you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like
Yeah,
I don't try to just know more than other people. It's literally that I'm just so obsessive about it during the season. I'm never not doing something related to watching or listening to podcasts about hockey or reading about it. Like,
you have like a photographic memory when it comes to hockey. Like,
there's just random things that I just remember.
Retain everything. I wish
the randomest shit too. Like
it's like trying to remember the one person's name that you just met like a week ago, and you're like,
oh god,
oh, I can't rember names for shit.
You're like, I don't know, but in 2013, Corey Crawford had a playoff save percentage of .935.
Exactly.
And I fucking nailed it.
Yeah, I was like,
I know all that shit.
I knew it was a 9 and a 5. I couldn't remember if it was 25 or 35, but yeah.
No, it was 53. It was. It's like, wow, what a save percentage.
Yeah, right. Shit.
I mean,
yeah, there's just some things like when we were watching, I think it was a Minnesota game or something over the phone. You're like, who's number 22? I was like,
you just listed.
I was like, on Minnesota 22. Why am I thinking Kevin Fiala?
And then it was.
Boom. I was like, I don't know.
I
don't
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sad that Matt Dumba stopped wearing 55.
Yeah.
Because it was fun to call him dumbass. D-U-M-B-A.
I wonder if that's why he stopped.
Probably why he stopped.
I mean, sir, you did this to yourself.
This is true.
Like the jokes write themselves.
Wonderful, yeah.
Like, you're gonna wear 55 and your last name is Dumba.
Yeah. 5s look like S's.
You know who else wears 55?
Kevin Korchinski.
Kevin Korchinski wears 55.
Yeah, but you can't really turn that into like Korchinski dumbass. Like,
no, you can't. And I don't think he is one, but that does bring us back around to Chicago.
Yeah, like we're over 2 hours right now, and
I feel like we're doing that thing where like we're putting it off.
Yeah, like every other episode we've done.
It's the thing that we're all really good at.
Yeah,
it's the Midwestern version of like tangents, where it's like we'll eventually get there, but will we though?
We're gonna go around the world first.
If there's a topic you want to avoid, we're really good at it.
Yeah,
but
he will get sent back to junior, so people shouldn't get too excited.
Pump the brakes.
Like, we all would love to see him succeed, but there's a process involved with baby draft picks who play in the CHL.
Exactly.
And he is an incredibly exciting player.
100%.
super mobile on the blue line. He did really good at keeping the pucks in the offensive zone and skating on the line.
Fast, he can pass well.
Oh my god, I was surprised by how fast he was, to be honest.
I was really happy to see like clean zone entries in some of the preseason stuff that I've seen, like the dump and chase situation. Which is and my
you're right
least
about the passing too. Like his passing was also super impressive.
Oh yeah, it really is.
But like as a defenseman, you need to also be good at the other side of things. And while his speed can make up for a lot of that, like I think it was his first shift in that Red Wings game where he was partnered with Connor Murphy, I want to say. And Murphy was caught up the ice a bit, so Korchinski was able to skate back into the zone and get the puck and get it back out. Like, he can cover for mistakes with his speed there, but you need him to get more experience just playing defense, because that was his biggest knock coming into the draft, was playing on the defensive side of the puck, and how he's a high-risk, very high-reward draft pick.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's maybe one of the most gifted defensemen in the draft, but he's not the best in his own zone. But from at least what I saw in the preseason, he didn't look super out of place.
Not at all. And usually you get those kids in there and they look like they're just like lost. Like, oh shit.
They're like a deer in headlights, or they make a bunch of rookie mistakes.
Right, and they just they don't mesh well on ice, but he looked like he was just already there.
And I think that might be a great thing about bringing in Luke Richardson as the head coach, because he was a defenseman.
Right.
And since we have so many young defenders learning from a guy who was in their position but was a defensive defenseman, he can teach them that side of the game. Because I feel like for younger players these days, like the offense just comes more instinctually to them. Right. Because it's a more offense-driven league these days. So, like, for the offense with Korchinski, it's obvious. It's apparent.
It's very clear.
And like from what I was reading out of training camp and stuff, they were telling him to shoot more in the offensive zone. Like, you can contribute offensively. And so then he was putting up points as training camp, quote unquote. And so then he was super excited about that. So he also seems like he's extremely coachable. So they want him to use all of these gifts, but going back to junior allows him to work on what he's learned from Richardson against kids who are more his age and a bit younger, and not just be thrown into the fire. Because that's when we would see those rookie mistakes. The more he plays against NHL competition.
Been doing for the past 5 years. But even in one of his in-game interviews, he was talking about how he just wants to be a sponge and he wants to soak up all of the experience he can while he's here and use that to improve his game. And he seemed very eager to learn and very eager to do whatever needed to be done, and I'm here for it.
I love hearing that coming from the kids too, because like some come into camp so
cocky and just feeling like they know everything and like, oh, I
know all there is to know about this game. There's nothing you can teach me, and it's like, well, darling,
all right,
sweetheart,
baby
hockey player, man.
Especially kids who can skate like Korchinski, because they're typically better than their peers because they're super fast and he can put up points. I was looking at his season last year and he had like a ridiculous amount of assists in junior. And I was like, oh my God, he had that many already. And he's clearly improving here, learning from Richardson and the other coaches and learning from NHL teammates. Like, he's going to go back and have an even better season with Seattle.
Absolutely.
So he has the offense. Now he can work on the defense and not just be plastered in his own end by NHL competition with also not having the best goaltenders to make up for mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, if they rushed him in, that's going to kill his confidence because he's not going to be able to, I don't want to say produce, but just like,
he's not going to be at the caliber of everyone around.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's going to be in his own head a lot more.
Doc.
Yeah, and he won't be able to make mistakes because you don't have that goaltender
leeway,
to make up for it. Like, in Tampa, they can bring up whoever the hell they want.
Because Vasilevsky is...
If a defender messes up, you have Andre Vasilevsky.
I mean, hi, did you see Bolts fans putting Vasilevsky jerseys on their doors before they left to evacuate because he stops everything?
That was amazing.
Well, also too, like even other defensemen on the team, like if he makes a mistake, like who's he paired with that's going to make up for his mistakes? Because you can't really. Connor Murphy's got his own thing. Seth Jones, we would need another like 3 hours to talk about just that alone. So it's like even not just even the goalies, but like even his own D pair, he can still get exposed. And now you're going to be playing mental games with himself because now it's like I can't make a mistake. Then he's going to make more mistakes because he's going to be too rigid and not playing comfort. You know, not comfortable, but like you're not relying on what got you there. Now you're too much in your own head, and that's going to be a problem. That's why don't rush the kid. Like,
especially as a kid, he's going to want to prove himself. So he's really going to be in that mindset of I can't make a mistake because, like Zach said, you don't have the teammates to make up for it because we don't have a bunch of guys who can skate on the back end.
We don't have a hammer.
Exactly.
We don't have a hammer. We don't have a Hedman. We don't have a Makar. Like, we don't have these guys who can skate and make up for their teammates' mistakes back there.
And
I can't remember what publication I saw it in. I think it was maybe the Sun-Times or the Tribune. It was one of those two. But they did say that Korchinski is probably the closest thing to a Cale Makar that you will see in like the upcoming draft year. So if they allow him to actually develop into the player he can be, like we might have that thing Gabe Landeskog said a team needs to win a Stanley Cup. They need to get themselves a Cale Makar. Well, we can't get a Cale Makar, but you know what we did get? We got a Kevin Korchinski.
This is true.
Yeah, because like Cale Makar is a once in a generational talent. Like there's like I don't think you're gonna see another guy like him for a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely not. And like I saw that also, and I think the quote came from his junior coach. So like take that as you will. It came from his coach. But you can see the tools there and just the limited amount of time that he's had. And he's never going to be Cale Makar. So we're not trying to sit here.
No.
We are not trying to get into
that debate. The next Cale Makar, Blackhawks fans, get ready. He's coming
again, he is the closest thing to a Cale Makar that you could probably get.
Yeah,
exactly. He's not the next Cale Makar. He is the closest thing.
Yeah,
it's like how people said Johnny Gaudreau was going to be like the next Patrick Kane. Like you have Patrick Kane, and you have Johnny Gaudreau, who is a very good player, very good hockey player. I am not saying that he is not. He is a very, very good hockey player, but he is not Patrick Kane.
Right?
No, Patrick Kane is Patrick Kane.
Kind of like that.
It's like you're not going to have a guy who's going to be playing at Denver, do what he did, and then immediately go to Colorado in the middle of a playoff run and do what he did, and then you give him a full season where he's like, okay, I'm just going to win this. I'm going to win this. I'm going to win that. It's like you're not going to get that. Like not every team's going to get that guy like that. It's just not a possible thing. So
there's a reason they're called once in a generation talents.
Exactly, and people have to remember, even when Cale came up, like he was flashy and he was impressive and all of that during the playoff run. But then his next season, like obviously still very good because when you're a good talent, it just shows through. Yeah. But he made a lot of defensive mistakes that Avs fans were really annoyed with. You know, like this kid can score, but he's always turning the puck over at the blue line or always trying to do too much. So then he turns it over. Like these are the things that these kids have to work through. And going back to Kirby Doc, who will probably talk about for the next few years just because of how bad they fucked him up. The franchise and fans never gave him that room to grow. They never said, you're still a kid. You're going to make these mistakes. You have to grow through them. You have to work through them. We'll teach you how to do it.
Right. They just said, oh, you're not top three.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, they expected him to be like Jonathan Taves straight out of juniors.
Straight out.
Exactly.
And even Jonathan Taves wasn't Jonathan Taves straight out of juniors.
No, he would. I mean, Jonathan. It's not what Kirby was, and he never really had a full season. Like he had multiple shortened seasons. It's like, all right, we're gonna give up on him already. Like, why are we giving up on him already? not his ELC wasn't even done yet. Like, all right, well, we're
The
just gonna
thing
move on
is,
from you. It's like
doing that.
Kyle was getting calls about him coming into the
Mhm.
draft. Like they were talking about it. I don't remember. I think it was on NHL Network because they were talking about it before his interview.
well, right, but I'm just saying
They were getting called like several teams, and Montreal gave us the best return.
And I think
So-
right. It makes sense, but at the same time, though, before that, it's just like
yeah. Like before that, you had like the media and the fans trying to trade him away, like before the team actually did. When
Yeah.
it comes to the trade itself, I'm not as upset about it. I am mad that the Hawks gave up on him so early, but I feel like they gave up on him like within his seasons, not at the actual trade. At the trade, I'm not too mad about it because we've seen so many times where, and of course it was with the previous administration, where they held on to guys too long and then got nothing for them. Instead
I
of
mean,
trading
like
them when they
not
had
trading Dylan Strome at the trade deadline and just letting him go at the end of the season.
or not trading Eric Gustafson
Oh,
a
that
few
was my
years ago
first
when he had
thought.
like 60 points.
Oh, don't worry. We brought him back though.
no.
But now he's in
Now he's in
Washington.
the Caps. Yeah.
Thank God.
With Strome.
When he signed with the Caps, I was like, oh, thank God. Eric
was
Gustafson is gone.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Caps fans.
No, here's another one. Here's another trade that really still hurts. Yoka Haru
Joker.
to Buffalo.
That was like our 4th episode.
Yeah, it was anger.
Anger.
Yeah.
It's just
That was
anger,
the title.
period.
The thing was, like, for a guy who was not even in the right area for Buffalo didn't want him, and you trade one of your best defensive prospects in a 1-for-1 for a guy who was on the outs with a Buffalo squad, and you're like, oh, I wonder why Alex Nylander never worked out in Chicago. I wonder why. You trade one of your best defensive prospects for him in a 1v1.
Yeah,
And look at him now.
Like,
It's like,
Hi,
great,
we
cool.
traded Malcolm Subban to Buffalo for future considerations. You want to know what future considerations netted us in that trade? Nothing.
Not a damn
We got
thing.
nothing back from Buffalo in that trade.
We still traded Robin Leonard.
To be fair, I'm not upset as much about the Malcolm trade. Like, you obviously always want to get stuff back, but we had such a backlog of goaltenders in Rockford, and Arvid never would have seen time because it would have been Malcolm and Delia.
The trade makes sense. However, like,
you want to get something.
yes.
Well, no,
in return.
my thing is we should never even gotten Malcolm in the first place. Like, we should never have traded for him. Like,
Well,
we got no one. Like, we got no one in that trade for. Like, Robin Leonard was.
Don't
phenomenal.
talk about my boy Slava Demin like that.
You can't even pronounce his name correctly. You can't
I don't even
no.
know if that's the right pronunciation or not. I just know it's not denim.
You can't even get offended
Look,
for him.
even Gary's like, I'm out. Like, I'm going in this window. I can't handle this conversation anymore.
It's just like Robin Leonard was playing so well. Like, the Hawks were still, before the weird bubble, like, everyone got in. Not really, but it's like,
Yeah.
you still had Robin Leonard. You still had Corey Crawford. Like, the team was actually doing good. And you're like, all right, you know what? Let's just trade Robin Leonard. Just out of nowhere.
Never forgive
it's
the
like-
Hawks for not re-signing Crawford.
yeah.
I don't think he would have retired that season. If
I
they
don't
would
think
have.
so
I don't
either.
I don't think he was done. You watch him in those playoffs. There's no
He
way he
wasn't
was
done.
done.
No.
no,
I
he
will
still had
never
more in
forgive
him.
them for not re-signing him.
You could have.
There
You
was
could have found
no
a way
reason
to.
to let him go.
No, you
He
could
needs
have
it one day.
And it was a total blindside from them too.
Yeah,
Yeah, he didn't even know it was coming.
no,
Yeah.
it's like you could easily brought both of those guys back. You could have worked some deal out to keep both of those guys in Chicago, or at least
Absolutely.
something. But it's like, all right, we're going to trade Robin Leonard for Malcolm Subban, who
Then we traded to Buffalo for future considerations. So
Yeah.
essentially, we traded Robin Leonard for future considerations that
Well,
netted us nothing.
that,
We
that
got
whole
him for
trade was nothing. That whole trade with the whole
Slava
trade.
Demin. Demin. Slava Demin. Demin.
That whole trade made no sense. There was no reason to do that trade, and so you let him go. Then you let Crawford leave in the most backhanded way possible to a two-time champion. Who's your goalie?
Okay, look, but
It's
they
like-
were entering a rebuild.
They've been saying that every fucking year.
They've been saying
Oh.
that since like 2017.
You,
No.
you mean then we go and get Marc-Andre Fleury. We go.
No. That was the next off season, Zach. Things change over the course of a season because we were
never a rebuild, guys. It was never a rebuild.
It was a retool. It was a retool.
No. But when they let Crawford go, it was the rebuild, and everybody in the organization knew where they stood, that they were in the rebuild. Everybody knew. But then we were never.
Apparently, the former GM didn't know.
Then we were never in a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
That came out the next summer.
Yeah.
So we were the previous offseason, we were in a rebuild. Everybody knew what was going on. So when Taves and Kane acted surprised, like, oh, they're just being silly. Everybody knows we're in a rebuild. But we were never actually in a rebuild. So we're going to then play out the shortened season. And that didn't go well. So, now we have
to rebuild.
Now we have to rebuild. But, all of this noise is coming out of nowhere and all of these bad stories. So now we have to go get Marc-Andre Fleury and Seth Jones and Jake McCabe and Jujhar Khaira. And we have to re-sign Connor Murphy for $4 million for 4 years.
And we have to give Seth Jones the Stan Bowman special.
Of course.
The 27-year contract with a no movement clause.
Yep. And now
we're ridiculously large amount of money.
And bring Gustafson back.
46.
And bring Gustafson back.
And
so we're going to be good this year, guys, but we can't hold a lead for the first month of the season. It takes until November 1st to get our first win. So, of course, a few days later, we're going to fire Jeremy Colleton and make Derek King our coach, who can't coach the Ice Hogs. So we'll see how this goes through the whole season. Oh, this went poorly. Okay, we'll make him assistant coach. And
I believe he's an associate coach, not an assistant coach.
Maybe.
I believe.
And
unsure. Because there are assistant coaches and associate coaches, and I don't know what the difference is because I thought those were the same thing.
Derek King couldn't even coach his way out of a paper bag. Well, sure, let's let him lead one of the
I've been saying.
But he brings the media cookies that his wife makes.
I don't give a
and he wears that stupid hat.
And he
has his lucky suit.
And he cracks jokes that nobody actually thinks are funny.
They're not funny.
And he throws his players under the bus endlessly. Cute. And tells Mackenzie Entwistle to play to his skill level and not try to do more than he can. To the media, no less.
Poor Mackenzie.
So all of that started with losing your elite goaltending. And
it really did. That started the domino effect.
Yeah. Yeah, you did Leonard dirty and did Crawford dirty. Look what happened now. Hockey karma.
This is what happens when you piss off the hockey goalie gods, because look at Vegas.
Exactly.
They missed the playoffs.
Exactly.
We eliminated the Vegas Golden Knights from playoff contention. I called it on the podcast episode prior to that game. I said, Zach, this is what's going to happen. The Stars are going to do whatever, but we are going to play the Golden Knights, and we are going to take them to OT, and they are going to lose, and we are going to eliminate them from playoff contention, just as that final, thanks for Flower for nothing, F you. And then what happened the next night? I texted Zach, and I was like, is this really happening? Did I actually, is this really happening? And he was like, it is happening. And everybody's like, the Stars eliminated him. I'm like, no. No.
Who played Vegas that night, actually?
We did. And whose game ended first? Ours did. So you want to know who eliminated Vegas? The Chicago Blackhawks.
We almost made a podcast just to celebrate that because of the fact
we
that
did.
Because
thank you for coming to my soapbox TED Talk.
It's Kevin Lankinen. No, it's Kevin Lankinen. Of course, we kept saying it wrong for so many episodes, and Courtney comes on. It's like, it's Lankinen, by the way. And it's like,
but you would never know because they don't say it right.
No,
look, at least they didn't do him dirty like they did Colin. At least they didn't do him dirty like Colin Delia.
Colin
Delia.
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 Yeah.
And all 7 different pronunciations in one broadcast.
In the same game. Pick one. Pick which one you're going to be wrong with and stay wrong with it. Don't choose every single variation.
No. It's not a good look.
Yeah. It's been a hard look for the goaltenders here in Chicago. So now we have Mazarek and Stalock, which I can't say his name correctly. It's just Mazarek now. It's just Mazarek.
She's tried.
It's just
it just doesn't happen.
Everybody, I know it's Mrazek.
Yeah,
I know that.
We're aware.
Blame Gary Bettman. It's all his fault. Oh, I'm sorry, Gary Batman. It's all Gary Batman's fault.
Gary Badman.
Badman, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gary
basically,
Batman.
so basically, for the Hawks this year, are they finishing 7th or 8th? I guess it all depends on what Arizona wants to do, because.
So look, I am betting on my boy Karel Vejmelka to be an ace in net for the Arizona Coyotes, and the Hawks will finish behind them.
Here's my thing. I'm going to take something from our boy JJ because he wrote like a Central Division rankings, and the Hawks will finish 7th because they play in an actual NHL arena.
Look, as long as we don't finish last but win the lottery, it's totes fine.
Exactly. I don't care where we finish as long as we win the lottery and when the Tank Bernard train is actually successful.
Because in the fact it's like, because I think it was like it was the CGHL Blackhawk guys in the Arizona city wherever they do their thing at. They had a debate on who was going to suck more. Wanted to watch, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to, because I don't want to put myself in that mental mindset of debating who's worse.
No, but like
teams, it's like
when you look at the rosters on paper, like Arizona's better.
Yeah, and
they have more guys up front who can score points. Like even when we had Alex DeBrincat last season, the Blackhawks couldn't score goals.
No, and like they still have Jacob Chikrin. They still have Keller. For now. Like, for now. Here,
look, I'm all for like a 1-for-1 Chikrin Seth Jones deal. Like,
please.
Arizona needs the cap dollars. Like, they barely hit the cap floor.
Yeah, but Chikrin wants to go to a contender.
We'll be there in a few years.
Yeah. Because what did Kyle Davidson say? 2026, 7? I think somewhere around there.
I'm not even putting numbers on it. It'll happen.
It'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen when it happens.
But like, if we could get Seth Jones to take the Coyotes and consider moving there to improve their defense.
Well, what he needs to do is go to Dallas, who needs like a nice solid presence on defense there. Like they have the younger guys, and
that's like his hometown.
Exactly.
He needs to learn how to play defense. That's what he really needs to do.
I mean,
learn to play some defense.
Will that $9.5 million pay him like hockey coaching lessons with the defensive expert?
You would think. Here's the other. Me and Beth joke about this, and I hate we put this in the universe. So,
oh no.
If it makes you feel better, I know exactly what we're talking about, and I got it from Courtney.
Oh no!
Oh dear,
this is my fault.
Hold on.
Commissioner, all right, we're bringing because we have the Commissioner of Chaos with us here.
All right,
that we do.
What are the odds that the Blackhawks just decided, screw the tank and don't make the playoffs?
See, Courtney knows exactly where this is going because now she's realizing that she said these words to me.
And you told me this, and we had to bring it back full circle to her. But the Blackhawks don't make the playoffs, but they're so far down in the lottery number that they're in the.
No, you're getting it wrong. They get the 16th seed into the playoffs.
Oh no, I was gonna say they missed the playoffs entirely, but they're so far down on the lottery list that they're like 1 point something. But yeah, playoffs. Yeah, let's see them make the playoffs and just absolutely screw themselves out of Connor Bedard. Just in general.
If there's anything that would not surprise me about this season, it would be that. If the Blackhawks make the playoffs, I'd be like, this just makes sense. Like,
I mean, we talked about it on
most Blackhawks thing you could do. We are in a rebuild officially. Screw all of those years we've had since 2017 with Stan Bowman claiming we are not in a rebuild. We are finally in a rebuild officially. We are trying to get that first overall pick. Playoffs.
See, here's the thing. Zach and I talked about this on our last episode because Kane and Taves had their first pressers at training camp.
Yeah.
And Kane said they are looking to prove people wrong.
And then you have Luke Richardson like, we want to win. And I'm like, no, we don't.
We don't. Actually,
Sweetheart, darling, we love you, but no, we don't.
We love you so much. Don't ruin this for us.
Like this is the 1 year that we're kind of embracing a tank job because Connor Bedard is the like everyone was all in on the last number one.
Right.
Yeah,
man, poor Shane Wright. But you know what? Good for him because that man got wined and dined by the Montreal Canadiens.
Like everyone was all in on that kid.
And I mean, I think I'd rather be in Seattle than the other options anyway. So
right.
Not only that, he doesn't really fit in what the Habs are trying to do.
That's
like he never fit into what they were building. And unlike some teams, they actually went and drafted a guy who like can work in what they're building.
Yeah.
For once, they draft a guy who could actually fit with the team.
I know.
For once.
I know.
I'm still wondering what Logan Allen's going to do for the Blackhawks, but that's another story for another time. But it's just like the one, like this is a consensus number one pick that actually does make sense for the team who's going to be bad to go get him. Please, Blackhawks, don't ruin it for us when you got Connor Bedard.
Oh, they're going to Blackhawk this up, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, every time.
Oh, so
that's what we're going to be angry about this season. It's not going to be the Blackhawks being bad because they need to be. And you look at this roster and you go, how is this going to work?
Mm-hmm.
And also we want them to be bad because we want.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So when they lose, you're not going to be mad about it because you're like, yay, one step closer to Bedard. What they're going to do is they're not going to have this insane losing season like the like the Avs did when they had their historically bad season and still lost
so bad.
Like
40 points or whatever.
I think the Blackhawks could possibly beat that record. Like I honestly think
they won't.
I hope they beat that record.
They won't.
I want it to be that bad.
Peter Mrazek is going to become the goaltender that everybody has thought he could be in between the injuries. He is going to win the Vezina. Seth Jones is going to be your Norris Trophy winner. Blackhawks are going to the playoffs where they make it through the first round, so they have even worse pick, and then they get embarrassed in the second round and don't score a single goal in the second round.
Oh my
God!
You come into the commissioner. I got nothing.
The commissioner chaos has gone full chaos mode and just put so much out there.
Okay,
there's too much out there now.
Look, for the three of you, tell me you can't see it happening.
Oh, I can.
I can.
I can.
That's the problem. I mean, you and I talked about this. I was like, they're gonna go on like a New York Rangers last year run, and they're gonna make the playoffs, and they're gonna end up in like the Western Conference Finals somehow.
They're
like
gonna beat
somehow
Colorado.
they're gonna be there. Oh,
they're gonna do a Blues light run.
Yeah, they're gonna end up on
they're not gonna make the Cup final. They're not gonna win the Cup, but they're gonna be historically bad in last place.
Yeah,
and then still make the playoffs. And you're like, you were doing your job, and now you absolutely lost it because you want to go on some historic, stupid run.
If this
and make
team
the playoffs.
won the Stanley Cup,
oh my God,
it would be.
I think I would actually die.
I
don't know that I would be happy.
Pass away.
How could you celebrate? Like how? Like
I think I would actually like croak. Like I would be in my living room watching the game, and my heart would just stop.
How could you celebrate that? How could you celebrate that Cup win? Like
it would
like,
be the most.
I would celebrate it as like
team
Patrick
to ever
Kane.
win a cup.
Yeah, I would celebrate it as like Patrick Kane's 4th Stanley Cup.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
he
or
stays at the
after
trade
they
deadline.
trade
No, see, oh God.
It's after they trade Kane and Taves.
So
and then they just turn it on. They're like, "We're going to the Cup, baby."
And Kane and James are like, "Can we reverse our trades? Can we go back?
Please.
That would be the most like even though all this has already been chaotic enough. That would be the most chaotic black hockey thing to trade away the two guys who got you 3 cups and you went and won the dang thing without them. And I'm just like,
and then Kyle Davidson's just standing there like,
right. Exactly.
I built this team to lose.
Right.
Look, there's things that you can't see happening. Like you imagine the Toronto Maple Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. You can't do it. You can't do it.
I can't.
I want it, but I can't do it.
Exactly. You think about this Blackhawks team doing exactly what we've said, you can picture it.
You can do it.
Yeah,
because everybody would be like, what the fuck is happening in Chicago?
Exactly.
And
that is
all
how
the
we have
NHL
felt for the
fans,
past decade.
all the NHL fans in the world would be back on their fuck Chicago for just being Chicago train. Like,
you know how beautiful that would be though? Like how mad everybody would be.
secretly would love it so much. Like,
it would be fantastic.
I would be so pissed about Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
However,
but
like in a perfect world, like we trade Kane and Taves and get some first rounders and stuff for them. And then those first rounders are not lottery protected. And somehow we still end up with the first overall pick. However, we won the Stanley Cup based on a trade of Patrick Kane to some team that ended up like not making the playoffs and just like fell off a cliff. Like that's how that would work out.
So basically the Hawks would win the cup, still somehow get the first overall pick just by lottery circumstance.
Just by like some GM forgetting to like conditional
Vegas.
Yeah. Like they forget to put the conditions on there that it's lottery or top 10 protected. So we end up still getting the first round draft, like the number 1 overall draft pick, but we also just won the Stanley Cup.
There would be a fucking statue of Kyle Davidson outside the United Center.
Like next season would start and the statue would already be in the atrium, like next to Michael Jordan. Like
it's
there
just
would
Kyle
just be,
Davidson, like
just standing there,
like standing there in a superhero pose, like hands on it, like fists on his hips.
Yeah, like
with a confused look on his face.
And then other Kyle in Toronto would be like, "This son of a bitch,
this motherfucker,
this motherfucker, I sent him Peter fucking Mrazek, and this is what happened."
And he won the fucking cup. Oh my god, Leafs fans would absolutely implode if Peter Mrazek won the Stanley Cup.
Oh.
I think the world would explode because Leafs fans would implode so hard.
I feel like at the end of next season, like if this shit actually happens, we all need to get back together and be like, who the fuck are we? Like, how did we make this happen?
I don't think we would have words. We would just sit here silently like
it would be 3 hours of us just like what? Huh? Like, what just happened? How did we know that was good? Like, it'll be after the draft lottery when we're like, what?
Congratulations, Chicago. You just won a Stanley Cup. Oh, and you're getting Connor Bedard on top.
And like the card flips up. Oh, hold on. I have my fancy bag. Like the guy's there, you know, the ball comes up and he's like, in with the number 1 overall draft pick in the NHL. The Chicago Blackhawks.
You see Gary Bettman in the corner. His hair is on fire.
He's got like veins just popping in his eyes. Like
it was supposed to be Arizona.
It was supposed to be my Coyotes.
He just starts shaking uncontrollably.
And then like steam starts like coming out of his ears and we finally discover that Gary Batman's actually like a robot.
A robot, yeah.
It just starts howling like the coyote.
Ow!
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Oh man.
This has Blackhawks doing it written all over it.
I think this is a perfect end to this just chaotic podcast, honestly.
So, in other words, Wohawks, that is how you embrace the process and not be sad. You just put crazy shit out into the universe that in a year from now, we're going to be like, how did that actually happen?
This is what happens every time we have the Commissioner Chaos on the podcast.
She does things.
Crazy shit just happens. And it's just like
shit does happen.
That's how it goes. But if all of this doesn't happen and things go according to plan, and the Blackhawks suck,
and we really want to see this with the number 1 overall pick in the 2023 NHL entry draft. the Chicago Blackhawks.
That would actually make sense. Then it's like, okay,
this bag is perfect for fake
It is.
lottery.
Honestly,
it does.
You have to keep it. So
I mean,
that
I'm gonna keep it. It's from the Hawk store. It says like
True.
333 North Michigan Ave on
Oh,
there.
nice. Heck
yeah, you kind of have to keep it. Yeah, basically, it's just business as usual. We know what's gonna happen. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's
So if that happens, here's what I can leave you with to not be super bummed out the entire season.
Okay.
The kids are coming.
Kids are coming.
There's some really exciting prospects now for the first time in like 20 years in Chicago. Okay,
As
maybe
long
like
as they
16.
don't get
I was
rid
gonna
of
say like 15-ish.
just don't trade them away for.
that's
Well,
yeah.
we don't have Stan Bowman anymore.
Right.
We don't have to worry about trading away every single one of our first round draft picks.
We have a new GM who seems invested in the prospects.
And also
And-
slightly intelligent.
Yes.
Well, let's give him like a couple full seasons before
Yes.
we start
Yeah,
going like,
not gonna
okay, I can trust this guy. We're going to our
not
first
very
full
long.
season with him as our GM.
Right.
I'm
I
not
don't
going to
want to like
be amazing, but I have faith in Kyle.
right.
So there is that. Plus, we have a brand new coach who everybody loves playing for.
Mhm.
So what you can look at on the ice is how the play changes from the chaotic mess of zero identity that we have had for years
Correct.
into it transitioning into something that the team can build off of once the kids actually do start coming up. And at least I saw that in the preseason games I have seen so far. It seems like they're actually playing as a unit and as a team and not just as a bunch of individuals
Right.
out there on the ice doing things that aren't working.
Mhm.
It reminds me a lot of 2018 when the Caps finally won a cup because Ovi stopped playing as an individual superstar player and started and built into Barry Trotz's team system.
Yes.
And then look what happened. Like Ovi won his first and so far only cup.
yes.
Probably
like,
only cup. Let's be honest.
I mean,
never
you
know.
never know. The dude's gonna play hockey until he's like 75. He's gonna go full Yager mode.
And then some.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where when you see players buy into the system, like that's so far, even in preseason, that's what I've been excited to see.
Mhm.
Even the old guard, the Canes, the Taves, even the Seth Jones, like they are buying into Richardson as a coach. They want to play for him. He is at the arena before everyone else,
Right.
like hitting the
Skating
bike.
with
He's
them.
like a miniature Rod the Bod. Like he is still in the gym. He is still putting in the work and he is showing them like, I am committed to you. I need you to be committed to me.
Absolutely.
And you can see it. Like I said, they're playing as a team because what we've seen so often the last 2 years, it is just individual hockey players out there, and there's no cohesiveness.
Flying around doing
There's
nothing.
no unit. They're just flinging pucks around, not helping out their partners or anything.
They're diving on the ice before the opposing player's even taking a shot. Like if you're gonna do that, at least like dive towards the stick and puck.
Right.
Like don't just lay down in front of your goalie.
Exactly. And it's not going to come automatically. Like there's going to be growing pains, especially because a lot of these guys have played in the NHL for a while. So you have to like coach
Like,
some tendencies
unprogram
out
them.
of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Deprogram.
and
Unprogram.
get them to buy in.
Reprogram, deprogram, whichever.
Yeah. Well,
So that's something you can look at as the season goes along, like how they start and how they progress to where they end. And maybe that's
I am excited to see that.
and maybe that's just something we
As a
take away
whole.
from being AHL fans. Like you see the prospects, how they come in, and then you have to watch how it develops. Whereas if you've just been a fan of a successful NHL team, you just watch for the wins every game.
Yeah.
Not the little wins
Yep.
that don't necessarily
Win the game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes.
Like when you
it's-
see like
it's
that
progress.
guy keep himself on side
Right.
during a zone entry instead of always
Absolutely.
being on the wrong side of the blue line. When you
Exactly.
see plays that you can tell have been written out on a whiteboard and you can actually see them finally develop instead of it just being like this, what are you guys, like a U10 team and you're all just trying to like chase the puck.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like, I mean, I'm a season ticket holder for an ECHL team.
Right.
So it's the same thing. Like everybody's like, they just need to shoot the puck. I'm like, you don't understand. Like there are plays. Like this isn't just like as much as it is a chaos game. It's not just a chaos game. Like you want to see them actually look for the open man. What are you going to do? Shoot a puck into somebody's ankle?
Don't
There's there's 3 dudes in front of him,
right?
And they are taking up the lane. You can't just shoot the puck. That's when a turnover happens, and then they score.
Yeah.
Like
that's
you have to take a smart shot.
Yeah.
It's
like if you want to see the smart shots, watch Colorado's run to the cup last.
Exactly.
Because that's what they did in the playoffs.
Exactly.
They took a lot of shots, but they took the smart shots.
And I mean, they even put a puck through the net. So
yeah, it's structured chaos.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's why we love it.
Exactly.
And it's like when people are yelling shoot in the stands, I'm like, find the lane. Just find the lane. Like you can see them open up. I just need you to actually like find it.
What's frustrating is when they won't fucking move.
Yes.
They just stand there with the puck.
And or they just triangle past the puck around on the power play.
People confused for needing to shoot the puck is them not moving.
Right.
Yes.
Which is easy to do because you think, oh, goals come from shooting the puck, which they do. And some teams do really need to shoot the puck more than they do on the power play.
For sure.
But it really does come down to what you said and not moving your feet.
Yeah. You gotta move around when you get into the zone. Like
otherwise the defense just stands there.
They just stand right in front of you.
And that's all they have to do.
Frozen.
And you can't trip somebody up because you're just staying in the same place.
Right.
And like
nobody's
prior
moving.
to our coaching change here in Jacksonville, I used to call our power play passing practice. Because like they just stood there and they just shot the puck around to each other. And it's like, hey guys, hey. Yeah.
That's what we called our, what was it, the overtime?
Yeah.
The
complacent triangle.
Yes. Like 3-on-3 overtime is supposed to be really fun and exciting, and you're supposed to be trying to win a hockey game, not just passing the puck around in a triangle until your shift is over and you go swap out with somebody else and you pray that you get a breakaway. Like, no, you have to make those opportunities.
Exactly.
And so it's like, I'm looking forward to like finding a baby Blackhawk and like building that love for them like I have for the Patrick Kanes and the Corey Crawfords and the Jalmersons. And like I was blessed growing up because the AHL team that I was a fan of in Norfolk became the Rockford Ice Hogs. I saw a lot of those players. Like my love for them is so deep because I saw them develop and become NHL players. That's why I love Corey Crawford. That's why I love Duncan Keith. Like when he mentioned Norfolk in his Stanley Cup parade speech, I started sobbing.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why we're so attached to players who come up through the Ice Hogs. Like you see them develop and how they start and how their game grows. Like
it's a whole different level of fanship.
Yeah, and that's why this is a great time to become a fan of the Blackhawks because they're gonna be bad, but you can see when the kids come up and you can be a fan of them before they are the superstar and you can see how they develop to become that superstar.
Yeah. Like I'm excited to see Alex Vlasic develop. Like I love his sister on the Whale. She is phenomenal.
So tall.
He's 6'6".
He's so tall, but he needs to beef up. Like he's still so like young, late teens, early 20s skinny.
Right.
He's got that lanky
filled out yet.
Yeah. He needs to be in the weight room, hitting the weights, like squatting, bench pressing, do what you got to do, build up that muscle. But I'm excited to see that development. It was kind of the same with Dustin Byfuglien when he played for the Norfolk Admirals. Like he wasn't like itty bitty skinny like Alex Vlasic, but he wasn't the muscular developed player that he became before he became the more Phil Kessel shape of a hockey player. Like love the man. I really do. We used to call him Baby Buff, if that gives you an idea of like how little he used to be.
Yeah.
But like seeing that development, seeing Alex Vlasic start from like this like 6'6", 180 little beanpole of a man to turn into what hopefully will be a Hammer or a Dunks or Brent Seabrook, where they are the defensemen that carry this organization into their next championship. Like that's what I'm like it almost feels like we're going to be watching AHL hockey all season anyway. So I mean we're going to watch these kids develop like you would in the AHL.
Exactly. And so that's what people can be excited for, seeing that progress, like within the individual players themselves and also within the system, because this is a brand new team all around, new GM, new coach, There's not many guys that you're familiar with on the roster. Like, it's a lot of change and a lot of turnover, and it's going to be hard to get used to, and it's going to be a rough season.
Yeah.
But if you do watch the games and stick it out, you can look for those improvements. And we've already seen it in preseason. So that's how you can get through it without being a total upset mess. Even though, of course, the losses are going to suck, even though we want them to lose. It just sucks when your team loses a game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, even though you know it's for the best, you know?
It sucks when they lose, but like the more they lose, the better life could be. I won't say should be, because I mean, you're still at the mercy of the draft lottery gods.
And developing who you choose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and also I don't necessarily want to get excited about the potential of a Connor Bedard, because again, he may not fit into what we're looking to build.
Look at Edmonton.
Yeah. They have a Connor McDavid and a Leon Draisaitl, and
before that they had Taylor Hall, Jordan Eberle, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's still with the team, but he's not their top guy. Like, they've gone through all of these players who were supposed to be the guy. And
Neil Yakupov.
Generational Connor McDavid, and then Leon Draisaitl. Like, so
like, how those two have yet to win a cup.
I
mean, but then you have Mike Smith in net, so
yeah. I mean, everyone thought they hit the home run on Neil Yakupov. We saw how that played out for him. It's just they've blown through so many first overall picks.
Yeah, and it's just a poorly run franchise, and I don't think the Blackhawks are at that level anymore. So it seems like it would be a bit more promising, but
past that,
it feels like we've moved into a team that actually has a direction. And has like a goal on what, like, please don't bring back one goal, please, for the love of God. Like that needs to die with the old regime. As much as I loved that being our mantra, because it was like that is so tainted now.
Plus it's a troll, like everyone trolls the Blackhawks with that one goal thing too.
I mean, I don't blame them.
Nashville series after they won the President's Trophy.
How many goals did you score? One.
No.
But like I'm looking forward to this new regime. I'm looking forward to what seems like a direction.
Definitely. I feel like in the past years there hasn't been any type of direction whatsoever. They thought they had it. They said they had it.
Yeah.
They didn't have it.
Like, maybe they did. They just didn't know how to execute.
Implement it. Yeah.
But even in the like, they have a plan and they're making the moves to do it.
Yes.
Even in the like 2013 to 2016 time, there didn't really seem to be a plan. Like, the team was successful and they did winning things, but there didn't feel like there was a plan. The plan was just like, everybody score as many goals and win.
Exactly.
And when you don't, then we have Corey Crawford.
Yep.
Yes.
Dragging some of those teams to wins. Like, with as talented as that roster was, you shouldn't have had to rely on him as much as they did.
No. Like, those teams should have had runs like Colorado had this past season. Where, I mean, just winning. Like, oh no, look, we won the Stanley Cup in 20 games.
Right.
Yeah.
No, like, even for the 13 team, when they went on that stupid run to start the season where they went 20-some games undefeated, there were some nights they should not even have won games, especially the one was it Calgary when it was Emery was in net.
Yeah, and then scored to the winner.
Yeah.
And then you know, that streak being ended by the Colorado Avalanche.
Another reason I hated that team. Gosh, me and Colorado have had a very rocky relationship.
We've had a very rocky relationship.
See what
for sure.
See what you did there. That was nice.
But like, even those teams, it was never easy. Like, the Hawks winning and being successful was never easy. Like, this season in the playoffs was for Colorado. Like, things just happened.
To them,
Like, in 2013, when they were the best team, they go down 3-1 to the Wings. Like, It was
honestly
always...
that comeback was one of my favorite ever, though, as like a diehard hate the Red Wings person.
Hammer got screwed. Hammer got screwed out of his game winner.
That was still bullshit that wasn't a goal.
I mean, 14 Western Conference Finals, also bullshit.
You had to bring up.
I did.
Look,
if we're talking about suck.
Oh, you want to talk about teams who could have had a potential three-peat? That team, that Blackhawks team had it, because you're playing the Rangers in the 14 final.
Oh yeah,
the Rangers had no business being there.
Honestly, I would have loved that series, because I was like, as much as I love Henrik Lundqvist, like, do not think that I do not love that man, because I love goaltenders. He's a phenomenal goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
People don't seem to realize that he and Corey Crawford have almost identical stats for the numbers of games that they played. If you put their numbers side by side, they are literally identical in some areas. Yet he's King Henrik.
Of course.
And Corey is the goalie who gets shit on by everyone.
And who has won in the NHL? It's the same fucking thing with Carey Price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also love Carey Price as like a human being.
Right. Me too.
I love him as a human being.
I tried very hard not to have this bitter mentality against Price, and it got harder once they beat Toronto in the playoffs. But like, you gotta love Carey Price. You can't hate the guy. But he hasn't won shit in the NHL. Like, he has his Team Canada stuff, like, fine, but those teams were fucking stacked. But it still comes down to
Crosby. I mean, just
exactly.
It still comes down to him being like a great goaltender, because Crawford had some stacked teams in front of him, and most nights it still came down to him saving their asses, because nothing was ever easy. But like, everybody's like, first ballot Hall of Famer Carey Price, and Corey Crawford is over there somewhere. Not the
I mean,
also everybody's like, well, Carey Price only had like 170 plus points defenseman in front of him his entire career. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but have you met the Chicago Blackhawks?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are like, and
with own goals, Seabrook back there.
Well, the thing is, like, everyone praises Patrick Waugh, but you look at the teams that he had in front of him in Colorado, stacked teams. Like, they
good teams win championships.
Of course,
yeah.
Like, of course, everyone's like, well, everyone loves Martin Brodeur. Did you see his defense in Jersey? Like, when you have Niedermeyer and Scott Stevens, I think are pretty okay on defense. And look at the forwards that he had too at the time. Like, miss me with, these guys were elite goalies because they helped their teams win. But Corey Crawford was a sieve. Corey Crawford won 2 cups and deserved a Conn Smythe in the process. But it's like, now these guys are Hall of Famers. Corey Crawford is just some slapdick that just kind of did something. It's like,
so much disrespect.
I swear it's just because he never played for Team Canada.
Which, I mean, let's be honest, with the goalie class that he was in, that's not shocking. There's only 2 tendies.
He played at the same time as Carey Price. Like,
and Flower.
Yeah. And those were the guys. And Luongo. Like, those were the guys. And it made sense that those were the guys.
Yeah.
He didn't get his name in with Team Canada to be that guy early enough before those guys did.
Well, the thing too is
who the fuck has won? I mean, so did Flower, but we're not hating on Flower here. No. The other 2,
Luongo didn't do anything, and everyone loves Luongo. And it's like,
Bobby Lou is hilarious, though. Like,
he is. He is
his
hilarious.
Twitter account is one of the greatest follows in the world.
For the fact that, like,
now he's in the hole.
Yeah, he is. He is. Sorry, I have to bring up the Leafs, Courtney, just about Luongo, for the fact that he never won in Toronto, but David Ayers did. And the fact that he even brought that up was just. But the thing is, it's like, but with Corey Crawford though, it's like, I don't understand how this guy gets so much garbage put on him for the fact that he won multiple cups
and gave some of the greatest championship speeches of all time.
Fucking right, Chicago!
But it's like,
biggest bunch of beauties in the league fucking work their nuts off for this shit.
It's like, I know it's not us, but it's like just Blackhawks fans in general, not the 4 of us, but it's just like an overall majority.
And now they're trying to rewrite history like, oh, I always loved Crawford. Bitch, I've been here that entire time.
I have receipts.
I got
receipts.
receipts.
The whole step of the way. Every year I was fighting people that he was an elite goaltender. I know y'all did not like him.
Like it's like it makes no sense. Like oh, we're gonna crap on him. Why hit on the goalie who won you the only goalie who's won multiple cups?
Yeah,
who's actually done something for this team?
Because he gives us some soft goals. Who the fuck doesn't?
Right.
Who doesn't?
I mean,
did anyone see
Vasilevsky threw a puck into his own net for fuck's sake after he made the save? He not threw it in because he was trying to show it up.
By any means, but did you see how he started the season in Chicago last year?
Does everyone Vasilevsky give a few softies as well? Like he's also human.
I mean, I remember when Ben Bishop shit his pants in the 2015 Cup Finals, and Vasilevsky came in, and then Bishop was back, and then Vasilevsky was back in, and it was, I mean,
yeah.
And then Ben Bishop and Hedman ran into each other, and
and then Patrick Sharp scored that beauty of a goal because of it.
Best goal ever. So
like beautiful.
Goaltenders give up soft goals sometimes because they're facing other elite NHLers.
Exactly.
Imagine that.
Right.
When you're a goaltender, tend the net, but it's not that easy.
You try stopping a puck from somebody who scores
with fucking Zdeno Chara blasting that shit at you, and
no thank
Shea
you.
Weber blasting that shit at you.
Try to stop vulcanized rubber from hitting you from a certain distance, and like it's coming at you, and then you look around bodies and do everything else. It's like it's not that simple.
Sometimes even your own teammates' bodies, like
they even throw themselves at you too. And you're like
Dylan Strome concussing Crawford, like. It's a very rough go for Strome in Chicago.
It was.
Yeah.
But he gave me a puck during warm-ups, so all is forgiven. He's the only one who paid attention to me.
So he's always forgiven because of that.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's sitting right here, like on my shelf. So
yeah, I will never understand why Corey got so much hate. And now people are just trying to revise that and say it never happened.
Revisionist history is my favorite when they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I always love Corey Crawford. I'm like, well, see, back here in 2014, you said Corey Crawford is the worst thing that's ever happened to hockey, #Blackhawks.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You gotta hit him with the receipts.
It's funny. Don't say to the person who has like the most ridiculous, like the most awesomest like Corey Crawford collection of stuff, like cards, signed sticks. Please tell that to the person who's like been in his corner the entire time.
Please come at Courtney,
please,
and tell her that you've always loved this man, because she'll be like, see, funny thing.
You're really pissed me off. I'm gonna go and destroy your life.
Yeah. So also, you tweeted at me in 2012, and you said this.
See what happened was.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, it has been absolutely amazing to find ways around the suckage. And so
we did fit that in there, though, how to deal with it.
We did fit that in there, and I'm really proud of us. We fit it in there. We talked about like both crazy scenarios that might happen. And it's one of those things. So I want to give you two just a moment to take the spotlight.
Oh God!
Oh shit!
I am giving you the floor.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
So that you can once again remind people where they can find From Center Ice and how they can listen to the awesome podcast.
Oh, all right. If you want to listen about hockey and belly buttons, you can find From Center Ice wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/c/From Center Ice, or just search From Center Ice, or search hockey belly buttons. I'm sure we come up.
Probably do at this point.
If you want to follow on Twitter, it is at VF Center Ice Pod. On Instagram, it is at From Center Ice Pod. Or the easiest thing to do is just go to FromCenterIce.com. Super easy, and there's links to all of the places over there, including our brand new merch store, which is super fun. You can get a bucket hat, or you can get a sports bra.
There's also that.
Or a shirt, or I don't know,
All
other
kinds of
things,
cool stuff over
shirts,
there.
sandals. There's, I don't know, whatever Johnny put up there. And also go follow Johnny Rockford
Absolutely.
at Johnny Rockford, JONNY, because he is the best, and all 4 of us love him.
He's great.
It's true. Also, I didn't know there was a sports bra, so now I will be taking the venture over to from
Yes.
shop, because I might need that in my life. But no, Johnny is awesome. This is obviously like the first of many FCI crossovers that are going to happen, especially in a season like this, because we all know that you guys need the fun and chaos, and we are here to bring it to you.
Oh, you got that right. That is what all of us are best at, is bringing the chaos when it comes to hockey.
It really is. Like,
life in general,
chaos in life is really what's up. So, Zachary,
yes,
where can the humans find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me at One True Zach. That's Only True Zach, like the Oneaters. You can just find me there on Twitter and all that good stuff. Beth, where can people find you on the socials?
And again, this is where we confuse the people, because my Twitter handle is WonderBeffers, not like the number, like the word wonderful.
Like, I wonder what happened to the Oneaters.
Exactly. And that dad joke from Zach will never die, in case
because you keep telling me to do it. I've tried not to. And you're like, you have to do it.
Well, no, you didn't do it one time, and then life just didn't feel right for the rest of the week. So, like, I just need that moment. And of course, you can follow the podcast on socials at Talkwell Hockey Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We are on YouTube, where, again, you really should have watched this chaos. If you listened to this for over 3 hours, like, we love you, but it was so much more fun to watch everything. So you really need to be on YouTube with Let's Talk Well Hockey. Make sure you hit the subscribe and then the little bell to turn on notifications, because honestly, we'll only bother you once a week when our episodes go live. And of course, questions, comments, concerns, go to Let's Talk Whoa Hockey at gmail.com. So for me, Beth, for him, Zach, for them, Courtney and Jacalyn, with From Center Ice, this has been the 25th episode of Let's Talk Whoa Hockey.
Victor Stahlberg.
It's the Victor Stahlberg episode of Let's Talk Whoa Hockey. Thank you, Courtney, for reminding us, because we've forgotten a couple times and then we feel bad about it. So perfect input. We will talk to you next week, wherein there will actually be more hockey to talk about, because like the regular season for the NHL actually starts in like a couple days. There's regular and preseason games happening at the same time, because the NHL has taken on our brand of chaos.
I hate it. I hate that there's preseason and regular season at the same time.
It's extra confusing in the NHL app, because it's like regular season, preseason.
You're like, that's not how it works.
Right.
It's kind of like in the COVID season, where there were like playoff games happening and regular season games happening at the same time.
Calgary and Vancouver. You beauts.
So
but this is the NHL and the PHF and the AHL and the ECHL. It's all hockey. It's all chaos. All 4 of us love it. And that is why we bring you hockey chaos with our show.
That's what we do.
It's true.
Oh, man.
So we will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up. So we made it our name. And we're still here.